Atlanta, Georgia, December 27th, 2016. There's a phone in Joy Fluker's hand, and on the other line, a dispatcher in a county she hasn't lived in for almost 2 decades. Her voice doesn't come out steady. How can I snitch on my mom? She's not asking the dispatcher, but herself out loud in real time, because some part of her is still working through whether this is betrayal or finally telling the truth and releasing burdens she has carried for a lifetime. There's a version of this story that starts in a Florida farmhouse where a woman has convinced grown adults she speaks for God, where children are beaten for sport under the guise of discipline, and where everyone dresses alike because that's what they are told. That's the version most people know and tell, but fortunately for you, we are not most people. This is the Black Docket, and this is the story of Mother Anna and the House of Prayer.
All rise. We are now on the Black Docket.
Welcome back to another episode, y'all. So first and foremost, we're gonna shout out Bella. This is a Bella recommended episode.
Okay. Bella, what up?
Bella, Bella, to the front of the congregation. I asked you to come to the front. You know how like no matter how bad you know the story, this shit had me so stressed out.
It's one of those. Thanks, Bella.
But I know it. Y'all know it. Kendall probably don't know it.
I probably don't.
But we about to get into it. Labor Day weekend, September 1st, 1973. A family is getting ready for a picnic and a day at the beach. A trip from Chicago to Warren Dunes State Park in Sawyer, Michigan. Robert Davidson and his new wife, Anna Young, and Robert's kids from his previous marriage is loading up into the car for a day of fun in the sun. At the park, the children head out to explore. First stop, walking around the dunes towards Paintersville Drain, which empties into Lake Michigan. 15 minutes pass. The children come back. Missing from the outing was 6-year-old Kathy. Within the hour, Robert, Anna, and all the kids were frantically searching for Kathy, calling her name and looking everywhere on the beach. What started as a family outing became a full-blown search party. Word spreads. People start to arrive from all over Detroit, northern Ohio, and across the Indiana line. The Michigan State Police combed the streets, combed the creeks, combed the lakes, and the woods around the dunes. They conducted interviews for everybody that was in the area and talked to anyone who had maybe been on the beach that day. Can you imagine your holiday, you drunk as hell, and then they coming to ask you where this little baby at?
Man, no longer drunk.
Mr. Officer, I do not know.
Now I'm sober as a nun.
Man, what?
Everything over. Party done. Just everybody go home, man.
They find almost nothing. Just a pair of green panties, and whether they belong to Kathy or not is still up in the air. Nobody could ever say for certain. Now it gets messy because 3 nights into the search, a Michigan police sheriff observes Robert and his new wife Anna sitting in the station wagon with another couple around 2 or 3 in the morning having a grand old time, Kendall. They laughing, they drinking, they got the cigarettes in rotation, like music up to the wazoo. Kathy who? Missing what? We is having a party. So once the chief sees that, he goes back and adds to his police report that these folks don't seem like grieving parents. And because Robert and Anna wasn't pushing the issue and they was having a party, they stopped going to the beach and they in turn stopped looking for answers altogether. So days turned into weeks. Kathy Davis is gone and nobody, no trail, no answers. And if y'all ain't looking for y'all daughter,
why should we?
Why the hell we finna look for y'all daughter? So it just kind of went to the waste. Now, Robert Davidson was a man with a life already in motion. He'd been married before, and he had 6 children and a full household in Chicago. They lived in the Hermosa neighborhood, and he was a man with responsibilities, a family, and then he met Anna. Now, Anna Davidson, she loved disco. She lived in Chicago with Robert in the Hermosa neighborhood, and most of the time it was just them two. But on rotating weekends and a few weeks after summer, Robert's 6 kids from his last marriage would come to the house and stay. And for whatever reason, it was Anna's job to discipline the kids, not their daddy. And they said she was a strict little lady, the kind of woman who kept order, who needs to have control, who made the rules and expected them to be followed to a T. So if she say wash them dishes and clean out that sink, is one drop of water in that sink, it's you and Anna
It's a
for the rest of
problem.
the night. It's a wrap. And it was just strict. It wasn't religion. It was no method behind it. It was just I'm strict because I'm strict type shit. At least in 1973, that's how it was. And they said she was a party girl. She loved disco and probably the blow that came with it. Okay.
Yes, sir.
She was a flawed woman, and mental illness ran in her family. Her mother had been in and out of institutions throughout Anna's entire life. But this wasn't something that they discussed. So, her mama would go to the 13th floor, and they just would tell people like, oh yeah, my mama's on vacation, or she went somewhere to rest, and her mama was in that padded room with giving herself a hug.
Yeah, she on vacation now.
And it was a non-starter. Like, if I said my mom is at vacation, don't ask me no follow-up questions because I don't have no follow-up answers for you. I said what I said, and that's it. And everybody was like that. Anna, her daddy, the siblings. Once the mama went off her rocker, we just gonna chill till she get back because eventually she's gonna come back. So Anna just learned to roll with whatever life threw at her, and that's where her need for discipline and control comes from. Like I can't be a kid if at any given day my mama got to go on her vacation to the 13th floor, and now I'm in charge. So I have to have order when she here and when she not here.
Fair.
And y'all know about them apples; they don't never fall far from the tree. So people around Anna could see she was just like her mama, whether she talked about it or not. The people saw the instability. The whispers started making their way through the family. Her family called her crazy Anna behind her back.
Should have said it to her face.
They definitely should have said it to. I think they probably did say it to her face because when you crazy, if we chilling and you just start doing some crazy shit, I'm gonna tell you, bro, you acting crazy.
Yeah. I'm definitely gonna cut your ass right there.
You are doing a lot, but she would trick people as well because the ones that didn't know her, they didn't see crazy. They saw charming. They saw charismatic. You know what I'm saying? Because I think crazy people do a really good job of being charismatic. Anna had a way of pulling people in, making people believe in her. And then when you looked away, you know what I'm saying? She's just chilling. She in that corner too long. Now she went to act crazy. But okay, you sum it up to she just having a bad day. Everybody makes mistakes. Everybody has those days. You know that song?
No.
Oh, Hannah Montana.
I for sure don't know that song. I wasn't watching no Hannah Montana. I didn't watch the Disney Channel.
Yeah, they would just chop it up to she's having a day. Everybody has days. Don't pay Anna no mind. It just be like that sometimes. But then Kathy disappeared. But after Labor Day weekend, something broke inside of Anna. The guilt ate at her. And instead of getting help, instead of going to a doctor for the mental illness that had always been there, Anna turned to God. She leaned hard into faith, Pentecostal faith. She needed redemption. She needed to believe religion could save her. And right along with God, Anna and Robert figured another child would possibly fix what had been broken. That maybe if they had another kid, they could replace the hole that Kathy had left. So they had another daughter, and they named her Joy. She was born in 78, way after they found God and stopped doing the blow. Joy would be the only biological child.
That was just funny. Doing the blow.
Definitely was doing the blow, the peel, the yak, the blow, the peel. Who that, Lil Jon?
Lil Jon, 8Ball, MJG.
That was my song. But after they stopped doing the blow, Joy would be their only biological child that Ann and Robert would have together. But this little baby couldn't fix what was wrong with these people, so they continued to lean into religion, continue to lean into their God, okay? Eventually becoming staunchly religious. They couldn't stay in Chicago anymore, so the family made a decision. They would leave. Anna and Robert packed up and prepared to leave Chicago behind. Now, even though Anna's mama was mental and crazy and off her rocker, when she was on her meds, she was about her business. So when Anna and Robert decided they was ready to leave, Anna's parents came and packed up their house in Hermosa. Not slowly, not with the kind of care people usually take when they're leaving a place they've been for years. They packed up their house like they was running, only taking things that was absolutely necessary and throwing whatever that was into a box. We don't have no time for no systems. You taking this shirt, throw that shit in the box, put the box in there. So you open the box, it might be shirts, it might be papers, it might be little baby toys, who knows? Just put it in the box and let's go.
Mhm.
And they came up with a plan for Anna and Robert. They told them that they would be moving to Georgia. Y'all are headed south to a small town called Zebulon in Pike County. Population less than 800. The kind of place where the streets don't have names, where the neighbors don't ask questions, and where nobody reads the Chicago paper. Now, as a nigga that done lived in Georgia for majority of my life, I had to go look and see what the hell a Zebulon was. It's in them parts that we don't go to. It's, like, close to Florida, so probably right outside of, like, Savannah, right down at
Okay.
the cusp of it.
Okay. Georgia-Florida line.
Yeah. Pike County don't sound like nowhere my black ass need to be.
No way. No
Don't
way.
don't sound like I need to be down there messing around with them folks down there. Y'all got it. And Zebulon was small enough that you could drive through it without even noticing that you're there. That was the point. Anna's daddy had allegedly, supposedly, maybe found a job, but it doesn't show that he ever clocked in anywhere close to Zebulon. You know what Anna crazy mama and her daddy was doing, but whatever they was doing, it allowed them to roll into the dough, okay?
So he the white Tommy.
You ain't got no job, Tommy?
Mhm.
Make of that what you will. The man said he was going to work, and the people said he ain't never go to work down here.
Hmm.
But that wasn't important anyway. What mattered was the distance. What mattered was them leaving Chicago. What mattered was that Zebulon, Georgia, nobody would know about a 6-year-old girl that went missing at a Michigan State park. And nobody would ever know about Anna Davidson. And at this time, Joy is still a little baby, small enough to fit in somebody's arm. So they loaded that car and they drove south. They crossed state lines. They put miles between themselves and what had happened. Zebulon was waiting, a place to disappear into, a place to start over. But here's what Anna didn't understand. You cannot outrun guilt. You can't pack it into a suitcase and leave it behind. Guilt doesn't stay in Chicago. It travels with you. It settles in your bones while you're driving. It whispers at you at night, and when you're trying to sleep in that new house in that new town where nobody knows your name, that guilt is right on your neck, breathing in your
Mhm.
breathing on you. Now, when you won't let it out, when you won't talk about what you did, when you won't face it, when you won't go to a doctor or a therapist and admit to anyone that something had happened, you didn't need to say what happened. You just needed to say, hey, something happened. It does not disappear. It cannot disappear. It just keeps growing. It mutates. It becomes something else. And in Zebulon, Anna went deeper into the religion. Her parents found it too. So not only is she staunchly religious, I'm giving my life to God. Now she done wrapped the mind of her crazy behind. Let me not call the lady crazy. Behind her mental mother and her father.
Now they all lost together.
Now everybody lost together. They went to church. They prayed. They studied scripture. They talked about salvation and redemption and washing yourself clean in the blood of Christ.
Hallelujah.
Hallelujah. Anna threw herself into it. She read the Bible front and backwards and forward, like it was the key that could unlock something in her. Like faith could be a substitute for accountability. Maybe it was the guilt talking. Maybe it was the untreated mental illness talking. Maybe it was a little bit of both. But something shifted in Anna during those years in Zebulon. Something hardened. The warm, charming woman who had loved disco in Chicago had completely disappeared, and something else was taking her place. Religion became her obsession, not as comfort, as control, as a way to make sense of the nonsense, senseless things that she had done. If God could forgive her, then maybe she wasn't a monster. If she could save other people, maybe that would balance the scales. Maybe that would make her clean. Make me clean again. Make me clean again, Jesus.
That's right.
See, this is my issue with the church. I feel like for the people that's there for the right reasons, cool. But people that do this, she in there playing around.
She really playing a game.
She's starting out on bullshit and she's playing around.
And that's how you start to play with the manipulation.
Anna's parents didn't know it yet. Robert didn't know it yet. Joy was too young to understand and know it yet. But Anna Davidson had found her religion in Zebulon. And 10 years later, when she and Robert left Georgia and moved to Florida to start something new, something they would call the House of Prayer for All People, they would bring that religion with them. They would bring all of it. By 1983, Anna Young had been quiet for almost 10 years, living in Zebulon with Robert and Joy, going to church. Now, she didn't have her own church at this point. She was just going to other people's church. Become a
Okay.
member, become a deaconess,
Mhm.
become, that type of thing. And she was keeping her head down. But quiet people don't stay quiet forever. But while she was laying low, she met a man, another believer, a man who saw what Anna saw, a world that was broken, people that were lost. And what they needed more than anything was faith, real faith, the kind that demands everything from you. So the three of them, Robert, Anna, and this man started talking. And they were more than talking. You know what I'm saying? This is when they was coming up with the plan. Okay, we're gonna get the land. Then when we get the land, we're gonna build the things. And when we build the things, we're gonna get about 1 million people to come. You know what I'm saying? Them type of
This
conversations.
the come up talk.
Given that one person, at least one person in this equation, is off her rock. Yeah.
It always gotta be something to foil a plan, huh?
Yeah. Got to see it. But you can also see it through, but you have to be on. But crazy people come up with great plans.
They come up with the best ones.
Yeah. Because they're crazy enough to believe that it could happen.
You just gotta have somebody or something there to wrangle them.
Yeah. And as they was talking, they really started to believe that they could do this. They could build something, that they could create a place where broken people could come to get fixed. So September 28th, 1983, the three of them signed a deed for 4 acres of land outside of Canopy, Florida. It was rural, very isolated. And they called it the House of Prayer for All People. Come here, they said. If you're struggling with addiction, if you just got out of prison, if you are sick in the head and can't afford a bed or a doctor, if you're a single mama with nothing, if you hit rock bottom and ain't no way up, come here.
Shabak.
You better praise him. Come here. We will feed you. We will house you. We will save you. But there's a price. Everything that you make must go back to the community. You will wear what we tell you to wear. You will cut your hair how I tell you to cut your hair. You will eat when I tell you to eat. You will pray when I tell you to get on your knees and give it up to the Lord. You sleep when I tell you to sleep.
That sounds crazy.
You will give up your name. You will give up your title. You will give up your funds. Because guess what? The old you, the worldly you, does not exist at the House of Temple for All People. You are reborn. You are brother. You are
Yes.
sister.
Yes.
You belong to us.
Yes.
And when she finished her spiel, I'ma go take my chances on the streets, ma'am. Thank you. Thank you.
Indubitably. Okay.
Baby, when she would have made it to, "You give us all your money," that would have been
That's the one that got you?
baby, you don't even have to go no further, sister. Thank you. I got to go.
Now
But
she woulda got me with the we tell you what to wear. Yeah, I thought this was for me. Clearly it's not.
because I really do like the concept of community, but I believe in individualistic community. We can have a community, and if you want to eat from the trees and the bushes and don't cook your food, you can be in my community. I'm finna like this motherfucker grill up and put some chicken on there.
Mhm.
The only thing you probably can't do in my community is hard drugs. But anything else,
What's considered hard drugs?
heroin,
That's some
methamphetamine.
hard ass drugs.
you,
That's some
you,
hard drugs.
depending on who you is, you might can do a little powder. You know what I'm saying?
That's not a hard drug.
In your house.
Synthetics are considered hard drugs to me.
As long as you do it in your house and it's not affecting the community, I don't care. But when you get to talking about everybody gotta look, gotta talk, gotta walk, gotta eat, gotta do, you sleep when I tell you to sleep, man, please. Please. I'm going to sleep at 3 o'clock in the morning and I'm waking up at 11. If that don't work with your prayer schedule, I'm gonna be kicked out. I'm gonna be banished. So before I waste your time, Miss Anna, I'm gonna have to take my chances with it. But by 1985, they had moved to the compound and trees was everywhere. Spanish moss hanging like ghosts. The kind of quiet that makes you feel alone, even when you are surrounded by people. And they had so many rules. The rules were biblical, Old Testament biblical. Y'all are in the swamps of Florida, and she got these people in full length church robes down to the ground.
Some people and their delusion.
But it's mental illness. It's mental illness. Anybody that come around me talking about they finna live life like the Old Testament, you need to go talk to the lady. It's something wrong with you. Maybe because I think everybody got something wrong in their mental. How can y'all let this lady tell y'all that and y'all don't think this bitch is crazy?
Because there's probably something going on in they mental.
That's true too. The women had to wear head coverings. The men's had to have their beards the same way. No makeup, no music from the outside, no talking to your family unless Anna approved you talking to your family. Y'all had to pray 3 times a day, morning, noon, and night. There was no time. The times was morning, noon, and night. That could literally mean any fucking thing.
That could mean 11 o'clock and then 12 o'clock.
That could also mean 12 to 12 o'clock too. You had to stay in Bible study until we got through an entire section of the Bible. If we doing Revelations, we doing the entire book of Revelations and calling it Bible study.
Yeah, this place is too much for me.
And the diet, that was strict too. Anna called it Levitical. And I'm assuming that's from Leviticus.
Mhm. The book of Leviticus, and I'm gonna presume she's going based on the rules of what's allowed and what's not allowed to eat.
You know, people listening to this podcast and think that we don't know that book, Kendall. They think cause we ain't fucking with it, we don't know the book, Kendall.
You think they think that?
You just wait till we get to these comments, but I think that's what they think.
Mm. Oh, alright.
Okay. That meant that they followed the food laws from the Old Testament. No pork, no shellfish, no bird, no mixing foods. Only what the Bible called clean. The animals and foods that met specific requirements. Everything else was forbidden. Now, if y'all don't know nothing about me, let me learn y'all something about me real quick. I don't like the what y'all call them, the GMO fruits without the
See,
fruits without the seeds and the cotton candy. Well, I can't say nothing about no cotton candy grapes because I be fucking them cotton candy grapes up, even though I made them in the lab. But I need a seed in something. I am not of the belief that we should be eating how the original people ate.
okay.
I do not think that we should be eating from the earth like they did in the Bible because them people lived to be 13 years old and die and hit the ground. Kendall looked at me crazy because he know like that is true. I understand this is what they ate. They ate that because that's all that they could eat. It
I need some proper historical information. Untapped, unraw, unbleached, because that could be true, but not for us.
but I think it was us who was mixing the green. It was us who made all that stuff from the kale, the broccoli, the cauliflower. That was us.
When you say us, who you talking
The
about?
colors outside in the field. They didn't work in no fields.
I don't know, man. You don't gotta work in the field, you can have a laboratory. That's
All
the
I'm
white
saying
man field.
all I'm saying is we can't eat like the people who wasn't surviving.
That's fair.
I'm not saying y'all gotta eat. Now, I ain't never gonna tell nobody to eat like how I eat. You know what I'm saying? I'm probably gonna live to 300 years old because ain't shit but preservatives pumped up in me. But nevertheless, I'm saying do not let nobody come tell y'all that y'all can only eat. I don't know what the original food was. I don't even know if it still exists, but we we gotta believe in the science. We got to know that every year something they've been telling us to drink water, drink water, drink water, drink water, drink water. Come to find out, you need to add a little dash of salt in your water because you need some electrolytes.
Yeah. Water doesn't hydrate, it cleanses.
Right. But for 2024 years before, they were saying just drink water, drink water, drink water till somebody decided to say you need electrolytes to power your body. If we want progression, we also have to progress with food.
And we also gotta stop lying.
We also got that line. Thank y'all for coming to my, TED Talk. I I'm saying all that to say I don't think that people should be trying to eat how they ate in the Bible.
Fair enough.
But Anna was not me, and now I'm not Anna. So Anna said, "Here go this Leviticus diet, bitches." You had to meet those requirements, and everything else was forbidden. It was unclean, and if you ate it, you were spiritually condemned.
Mm,
You were bringing evil into the compound. So you didn't eat. If you was at work and y'all went to McDonald's on y'all work break and you came back into this compound, you won't eat again. I bet you won't eat again because she said that you were unclean and you gotta get it up out of you.
mm.
However long she deemed that took. And you ate what Anna told you to eat. You fasted when Anna told you to fast. And if she said, "Can they sit at this table and watch these other people eat while you was hungry, stomach is growling?" You did it because that's what Anna decided that you needed.
Damn, Anna run a tight ship.
Everything filtered through Anna's interpretation of scripture. Now, I also think this is dangerous. This is a lady that's mentally insane, and we are taking the word of somebody that's mental. That is dangerous.
I agree with that.
That's dangerous. And Anna was everywhere in her lavender headdress, her hands always clasped like she praying. People that walk like this scare me.
With their hands clasped together like they praying.
If people walk with their hands clasped together like they plant, they run a coat. Get away from them people, y'all. And her eyes was watching, always watching the people. And around this time when she became the hawk in the sky, they stopped calling her Miss Anna and started calling her Mother Anna. And people were coming to the house of prayer by the carloads. A boy named John Neal was 6 years old when his mother brought him to the house of prayer. His mother had heard about this place, a spiritual community, a safe place. She thought it would save John from the wickedness of the world. When people get to talking about saving people from the wickedness, I think that's also a problem.
That's that word they love to throw around. Wickedness.
Yeah, yeah.
Make you sound biblical.
Mm-hmm. John would spend 7 years there. 7 years is a long time to a child. Long enough to forget what the outside world looks like, but long enough to believe that the person running the place, Mother Anna, is the closest thing to God that you'll ever meet. Long enough that when she says jump, you don't ask why. You jump because that's what survival feels like in this place. And that damn Anna was omnipresent. The people at the house felt that she had more power than God out there. In these walls, it's Anna then God.
Sheesh.
That's how she coming. She was God. Whatever she said, it must be followed. Fonda Favors arrived when she was 9. Her entire family came together. Her mama, her daddy, and her sister. And at first, it looked fine. The property was clean, the people were always smiling. It seemed like a place where you could belong. Then Anna separated Fonda from her mother, told her that her mother would be working, that Fonda would be with the other children under Anna's care. This is one thing about the cults I never understand. Why y'all always taking these people children?
Because I don't want you to teach the children anything that's against what I'm teaching them. The possibility of you mediating in between me and what I'm trying to do.
They always wanna take y'all
Of course, this is a
kids.
presumptuous answer. I don't do these things. I'm not a cult leader, but
I mean, but that's what they always say. Like, I just don't why would you go somewhere where the first thing they do is take your children? Why?
I don't believe you know that they don't wanna do that.
Fair, fair. That's fair. That's fair. That's when Fonda started to understand. Nothing here is what it looks like on the surface. The children belong to Anna, not their parents. Anna fed them, Anna disciplined them, Anna decided what they learned and what they believed and who they could talk to. The parents, they worked. Oh, baby, she put them parents to work. Go get a job. I don't know of the 800 people in Zebulon, you just can't be here for nothing. You're gonna go to work. You gonna go get a job, and you gonna bring that money back to
Mm,
this compound.
put that money back in my hand.
Hello? They made money, and that money went back into the house of prayer. They saw their children when Anna decided that they could see them. They had no say in anything, no authority, no choice. By the time the compound was running at full capacity, there were 24 people living on those 4 acres. 24 people who believed Anna had heard directly from God. 24 people who believed that this was the only place that they could ever be safe. And in the grand scheme of cults, that's really not a lot of people.
At all?
24 people is not a lot of people to convince when John came with his mama and his sister.
Mhm.
Fonda came with her mama, her daddy, her sister, and her. That's already 7 people. Like, that's 2 families. So, yes, Anna was devilish, but her message was not vast like most cults.
She's probably working with about 5 families.
5 families from 5 places, and one of the parents didn't wanna work. I also don't know if I ever said this, but I feel like a lot of people end up in cults because they genuinely don't wanna work.
Yes, and I believe that.
They don't.
I believe
What?
that.
I just gotta cut the grass, and I can live here for free and not do nothing? I think that's how you end up there.
And I started to realize that with the Nature Boy doc.
A group of folks who didn't wanna work.
Yeah, and I can see these beautiful views and live this life and, post it or whatever. Yeah, they definitely don't wanna work.
They don't wanna work.
I mean, I get it, but that's not the life.
And Robert was still there, but by now she had changed his name to Brother Jonah. And by title, he's a pastor. But it was a joke, a cover. Everyone knew who actually ran this ship. Everyone knew Anna made every decision in that camp. But like most compounds, the people who got in first, who helped build it, say that early on it was actually working, that Anna was warm, that she was charming, that she knew how to make people feel wanted. She took people nobody else wanted, people fresh out of prison, people fighting addiction, single mothers with nowhere to go and all of their kids. And she fed them. She prayed with them. She made them feel like they mattered, like they finally found something sacred. That version of Anna, the warm one, the charming one, that didn't last. The warmth started to crack first, then the charm, and then the whole thing collapsed, and what was underneath came out. Control. Pure, absolute control. A woman who spent 10 years running from what she's done, who finally found a place where she didn't have to run anymore, where she could stop being Anna Davidson and become Mother Anna instead. Leah Vera Alagoon needed help. She had 2 kids and had no way to take care of them on her own. So when she heard about this place in Florida, this community that fed people, housed people, took in the broken, what you laughing at?
That goes to what you said. People don't wanna work.
People don't wanna work. People don't wanna work. She thought maybe it was an answer. She packed up her son John and her daughter Katonia and made the drive south. John was 6, Katonia was 2. The place seemed good at first. It was clean, the people smiled all the time. There was food to eat, there was other children for John and Katoya to play with. It looked like the kind of place where a struggling mother could take a breath and her kids could maybe have something better. She was greeted by the charming Anna, and her kids got there before things changed. Now, once they arrived, Anna decided that John was cool. John was cool. We don't have no problems with little John John. John John can go play with the kids. But Katoya, she was not. Anna looked at that 2-year-old girl and saw a demon, not a child, not a baby, a demon that needed to be driven out. Maybe it was because Katoya's father was never around. Maybe it was because the little girl cried sometimes, like any 2-year-old is going to do. Maybe Anna's mind just worked in ways that only made sense to her. But whatever the reason, she decided that this child had to be broken. And Anna was a devilish wench. She made John watch what happened. He was only 6. He didn't understand yet what was happening to his sister, but he knew it was wrong. He knew because he could hear his sister screaming to the top of her lungs from the other room. Anna would make Katoya stand in a circle. The whole entire community would have to gather around this little bitty baby in this circle, and Anna would make her run, just run in place over and over, hour after hour. And while she ran, Katoya had to chant Jesus, Jesus, Jesus over and over until her voice got hoarse, until she couldn't breathe right, until she stopped because her little body just could not run anymore. Do you know how hateful that has to be?
At 2 years old?
I'm trying to picture a 2-year-old little baby. You devilish whore. And now the 24 people that was standing around this baby watching her do this, like, at some point, you got to know what right and wrong is.
They're scared of the consequences.
And when she stopped, when she fell because she got tired and her little body just couldn't run another step. Do y'all know that this lady had them people beat that baby in that circle? Anna told John to hit her, told the other kids to hit her, told the other grown people to hit her, told John, "I'm gonna hit you if you don't get her to run." I done seen these 24 people jump my little 2-year-old sister. If I'm a 6-year-old John, of course I'm gonna get her to run. Anna told him that his sister had a demon inside and they needed to beat it out of her. And John was 6 years old. And as a kid who was brought into this hellscape and told what to believe and what to think, in his mind, that made sense. Like, yeah, Anna said that you a demon. He did what he was told. He believed what Mother Anna said. Everyone believed what Mother Anna said. So he hit his own sister. He made her run. He participated in hurting the only sibling he had because the adult in charge told him that it was necessary. But the beatings and making her run in place wasn't enough for Anna. Katoya was starved too. Food was given to the other children, and Katoya couldn't do anything but watch them eat. Sometimes she got scraps. Most of the time, she got nothing. They deprived the baby of sleep, making her stand 4 hours and hours. Made her work even though her body was giving out. All the while withholding her medicine. When they get to talking about medicine is the devil, I I don't know. I couldn't find this in any of the research, but I think Anna thought she was the devil because she had epilepsy. So she
Okay.
came to the compound with epilepsy, and her mama had enough medicine for her. So I think the demon was
Was
the
epilepsy.
yeah. And why they had her doing all this, she was not allowed to take her medicine. Medicine that could have saved her life if she would have had a seizure. But Anna didn't believe in medicine. She believed in faith. She believed that if Katoya had enough faith, if she prayed hard enough, if she was pure enough, that God would heal her. That the seizures were not a medical problem, it was a spiritual one. One thing about seizures, they don't give a fuck about your faith, okay?
That sounds about right.
So by the fall of 1983, just months after Leah brought her children to this place, Katoya's body started to fail. The starvation, the beatings, the sleep deprivation, the constant terror. It was too much for a 2-year-old to carry. So she had a massive seizure. Her little body started to convulse. Her brain couldn't regulate itself anymore. Her heart couldn't keep up. They rushed her to Shands Hospital in Gainesville, where she was put on life support, where she only lived for 2 days. That's all her little body had left. 2 days of machines keeping her alive, and then she was gone. At the hospital, a doctor signed a death certificate. Seizure disorder, natural causes. No one questioned it. Nobody investigated. No one looked at the bruises on her body and asked how a 2-year-old with epilepsy hadn't even been given her medication. The paperwork was filed away. Katoya Jackson became a statistic. Another young child who died from a medical condition. Nothing more. They took her back to the compound and buried her in an unmarked grave. Anna was doing a lot. Sabrina Hamburg walked into the property at the house of prayer and thought that she had found rescue. On the surface, once again, it seemed fine. It seemed clean. The folks seemed friendly. Her son, Marcos, was just a year old, and she was drowning. A single mother, broke, without a pot to piss in or a window to throw it out of. And that made her desperate. Desperate enough to believe that a place like this, a community, a family, a sanctuary, could be the answer to her prayers. But for Sabrina, it was a little different because Anna took her little boy, Marcos, from her immediately. She hit the door. Anna said, "Yeah, give me that.
That's
You
crazy.
you can stay here, but let me get that up off you."
That's crazy.
That was the deal that Sabrina agreed to. That was always the deal. Though nobody said it out loud that way, you bring your child here for safety, for care, for a better life, and then your child becomes hers being Anna. You see them when it's allowed. You work, you pray, you obey, and Mother Anna raises your baby. Okay?
Hmm.
There was a man at the compound named Thomas Pogue, Brother Thomas, as they called him. He was a follower like everyone else, someone Anna had chosen, someone Anna controlled. And while Robert was still running things alongside her, still her husband, Anna decided that Thomas would be Marco's father in cult structure in Anna's design. And then she would marry Thomas in the name of the cult.
Hmm. Okay.
So how most men ran cults be having all them wives, Anna said, "Bet that up.
Imma have a bunch of husbands.
Imma have a bunch of husbands." She
Got
had
you.
7 altogether,
Got you. Okay.
but they never, like, filed it nowhere. Her only real legit husband was Robert. Everybody else was
Honky bind.
essentially. So her, Thomas Poe, will raise Marco as their child. She announced it to the community that Marcos would be hers, that she and Thomas will raise him as their own. She held the baby up in those early days like proof of something that was sacred, something holy, something that showed the world what the house of prayer could create. But then she looked at him and really, really looked at him being Marcos, and she saw what she could not unsee. Marco was half Puerto Rican. His skin was darker than Thomas's. His features didn't match the picture that Anna had painted for this family in her mind. So that meant that something was wrong. It meant the arrangement didn't work. It meant that Marcos didn't belong in the family that she had constructed for him. She started saying that he was unclean, that he was a demon, and he had been marked because of his blood, because of his mother, because he did not belong. And then the abuse began. Again, this is somebody that got marbles loose in their head. How you pick this baby, then say the baby too dark?
It seemed like somebody is evil or possessed in this situation. It ain't the people she keeps saying
Hello, somebody.
because you keep making the wrong choices.
Yeah, that's the one. So when the abuse began, Sabrina, his mama, his real mama, watched from a distance as her son was beaten. She saw the bruises. She heard him crying from the rooms that she was not allowed to enter. She watched these people lock her baby in closets, small, dark, tiny closets, for days without food or water or being able to go to the bathroom. He just in the closet, yelling, screaming, fussing, cussing for days. She watched her child disappear right in front of her, hour by hour and day by day, and she was powerless to stop it. And then one day, Anna called Sabrina to her. She told her, I bought you a ticket. You are going to take this boy and leave him in Puerto Rico. Sabrina was like, well, what you want me to do with him? This bitch said, take him and just leave him on the street.
Okay. And you know what I would have said? Yes. Book the ticket, right? He's Puerto Rican, so we got family in Puerto Rico. Guess what? I'm going to Puerto Rico, never coming back.
Or I'm finna go take my chances and be homeless in Puerto Rico. Something.
Out of here.
Out of here, man. Anna decided that that was law and that was gonna happen, and Sabrina knew what that meant. She had watched her son disappear into closets. She had seen the bruises. She had heard him cry. She had been powerless to stop any of it, right? Blessed with the option to do something different, one would think that she would take it, but she didn't. She was being told to erase him, to walk away, to be complicit in his erasure. So in the winter of 1985, Marco, who was just 3 years old, so she wanted this lady to fly to Puerto Rico, leave a 3-year-old baby on the streets, get back on the bus, the plane, however she got there, and come back to this compound. But he was evil.
Hmm.
But Katoya was evil.
Hmm.
Oh, okay. So Sabrina got on that train, that plane, that bus, however she got there, to San Juan, Puerto Rico, and she left him there. But she did not leave him on the streets. She took him to a church and she dropped him off. Even if by this time you were saying, I don't want to be a mama no more, you should have did something. There's no way you should have dropped him off and went back to that place. But she did. She got back on that train, that plane, that bus, and went back to Florida, back to that compound. But she wouldn't stay long because her conscience was beating her brain left, right, and center, beating her up that she allowed this lady to make her take her baby down there and leave her baby. So she decided to leave. Now, whether she went and got her child, we never know, but we know that she did not last long at the compound. So now it's moving and grooving. You know what I'm saying? Anna didn't hit her apex at this point. By 1988, something was shifting. Robert was starting to see what Anna had become. 15 years of watching her rule through fear, 15 years of watching her break people, 15 years of building a life on top of a lie, on top of what happened to a little baby Kathy all those years ago. And maybe that's when it finally caught up to him. The things that he spent 15 years not thinking about, that closet in Chicago, the scratching that stopped, the weight of what he'd done and what he'd let happen. He'd been the one who built the compound. He'd been the one standing next to Anna when she took in people with nowhere else to go. He'd been the one letting her remake the rules, letting her decide who belonged and who didn't, what was clean and what wasn't. He'd been the one pretending it was spiritual when it was just control. Maybe he was finally starting to see what this actually was, who he actually was, because he was not a pastor. He was not a savior. He was just a man who locked a 6-year-old girl in a closet and never said her name again. A man who built an empire on his silence and his compliance. By this time, Joy was 9 years old. She'd grown up in the house of prayer. She didn't know any other life. She didn't remember her time in Chicago because she was just a little baby when she hit the road. She didn't remember anything that happened before the compound, before the road, before Mother Anna decided everything. Her father was Brother Jonah. Her mother was Mother Anna. That was just how things were. That was the world that she grew up in. And on this day, she had a piano lesson scheduled. This was her regularly programmed schedule. You know, she did this thing every week. She'd go play her scales and her arpeggios, and then her father would be there to pick her up. He was still her father, and he was still committed to his fatherly duties, no matter how many fake kids Anna decided to pick up. You do what you gotta do, you everybody mama, but this right here, this mine.
You just do you.
And
I'ma
I'ma do
do
me.
me.
Joy practiced her keys and waited for her dad to pick her up after her lesson. She watched the other children get picked up. She watched their parents come and the room empty. And then it was just Joy waiting. Teachers didn't rush you about things like this. They understood. Sometimes a parent is late. Sometimes traffic happens. Sometimes people are just a few minutes behind. But Joy's father never showed up. Hours passed, and she's still just sitting in this piano school waiting for her daddy. Or maybe it was just 1 hour. Time moves different when you're waiting for something that is never coming. When you can feel something wrong in the air before anyone says anything out loud. At the same time that Joy was waiting for her daddy to pick her up, the sheriff was making his way to that compound, but he didn't come smiling. He came in the way that sheriffs come when they have news that's gonna break something. He asked for the wife of Robert, and they brought him to Mother Anna. He proceeds to tell Anna what he found. Robert had been at a junkyard near the compound where he'd been working on a Ford pickup truck. Something went wrong with the jack, and the truck shifted, and it came down on him and crushed him up under it. And that was the end of Robert Davidson.
Damn.
That was the moment that the lie cracked open. The lie that he was the pastor and Anna was just a spiritual guide. The lie that there was order, that there was safety, that any of this meant anything at all. Without him standing next to her, the facade collapsed. Everything that had been held together by his presence came apart. Like, yeah, it was fucked up, but Robert would still, you
Oh, he was
know,
still holding together as the glue.
a tiny bit because
Mhm.
you still allowed that to happen to Katoya under your watch, and you still allowed them to send that little boy to Puerto Rico under your watch, but where he could, he did.
And that's why that car had to do what he had to do on his watch.
Everything that I said that. The official story was accident, a working man, a moment of carelessness, a truck that weighed more than anybody could survive under. But the people at the house of prayer knew better, or they suspected better, because Robert had been different in those last weeks. He'd been quieter and more distant. Little Joy remembers the last time she saw him alive. Anna had looked at him with fury in her eyes that went beyond any regular upsetness. She called him the devil. She said he was nothing but a demon. Robert, Brother Jonah, the man who started this with her, that's what she calls him when she was angry. Not his real name, not even his code name. She calls him the devil. Yeah, Robert.
She's bugged.
A day or 2 before the jack slipped, before the truck came down, some of the people at the compound, people who had lived there, who had seen what Anna was capable of, they wondered if Robert was finally going to say something, if he was gonna finally break, if maybe that's why he wasn't picking Joy up from her piano lesson, if maybe the accident wasn't an accident at all. And they weren't the only ones that felt this way and that felt that this was a fishy situation. The police noted in their files that there was suspicion, the timeline, the way Anna's anger had turned nuclear in those final days, but there was no evidence, no way to prove anything. So the death stayed accidental, just a tragedy, just a man at the wrong place at the wrong time. But after Robert died, everything changed. The warmth that Anna had kept for the public the facade of a spiritual leader nurturing broken people, she hardened and turned into something else. Without Robert there to be the pastor in name, to be the man standing next to her, to be the buffer between her and total control, and it became absolute, and the children paid the price. Iman Harper would be the first to really feel it. There was a teenage girl in Chicago, and her name was Shonda Harper, a young girl, broken alone, in only the way that a young mother with no support can be alone. She had a baby boy, and she loved that little boy more than life itself. But love doesn't pay for formula. Love doesn't pay the rent, and love doesn't get you out of the corner you're already trapped in. But Shonda had a friend, and her friend knew someone who said that they could help. And the friend was a woman named Carol Thomas. And Carol said that she knew a place where they would take the baby in for a while. And this was supposed to be just a temporary situation, just until Shonda got back on her feet, once she had a job, and once she was able to get herself stable. And when she had her life together and when she was ready to be a mama again, they would bring her baby back. Don't ever give your baby to somebody when they got all them stipulations. Cause what you mean when she gets the stability look different for everybody on the face of this earth.
True.
For them to take your baby and you have to wait for them to bring your baby back. And Iman Harper was born April 1st, 1986, a handsome little baby boy. Shonda held him, kissed him, told him that she loved him and wanted the best for him. And then she let him go, handed him right over to Carol. And this pains her because it wasn't like she didn't want her baby, but she was looking at her situation and she thought that Carol could take better care of him than she could. But Carol wasn't about shit either. Carol brought him immediately to the house of prayer in 1986, just a few months after Shonda had handed him over to her. Taking a baby from Chicago to Florida, only being a couple months old, is insane in the memory.
People are bugged.
He was small. He wasn't walking. He wasn't talking. He was still learning the world. Shit, he was still learning that he is in the world. Like, he don't know what's going on. He needed constant care. And when Carol brought him in those gates, the first person to lay eyes on him was Anna. And something happened inside of her that didn't happen in a long time. When she laid eyes on this baby, she was no longer cold and calculated like she was to everybody else in the house of prayer. What she showed surprised everyone because when she seen him, she immediately became warm. The wench was actually like, you know how when a mama see that baby for the first time, like that's how they expressed it when she saw Iman. She held him and she immediately fell in love with him. Anna took one look at this tiny baby boy and decided he was special, chosen, different from all the other broken people she'd taken in. She renamed him Moses. Moses Young. Like he belonged to her now. Like the name his mama had gave him didn't matter anymore. She named him like she had just pushed him out and she held him differently than all the other children. She looked at him like he was something sacred. She told people that he was destined for something great. She talked about his future like he was going to be saved in a way that nobody else could be saved. And for those first few years, while Robert was still alive and standing next to her, when there was still some kind of buffer between Anna's impulses and absolute control, Moses got to be a kid. Joy remembers him. She remembers a tiny little boy running around the compound, laughing. He was not beaten like the other kids. He was never starved for food. Little baby Moses got to eat first as much as his little heart desired, and then everybody else got to eat. He didn't grow up afraid of Anna. He got to have and enjoy a happy and safe childhood, and he deserved that even if it was just for a little while. Because once Robert died, everything changed. The instant that truck crushed Robert, something fundamentally shifted at the house of prayer. That thin veneer of spiritual leader caring for her flock cracked. And what came out from under it was raw and unfiltered. Anna didn't have Robert standing next to her anymore. She didn't have to pretend. She didn't have to moderate herself. She didn't have to act like she was just a spiritual guide to a compassionate pastor to be by his side. She could be exactly what she truly was underneath all of them hot ass robes and headdresses on her head. She now has full range to be the evil woman that she truly was, and the people closest to her felt it. And Moses was one of the first ones to feel her rage. Now, since Moses was being raised as Anna's child, that made him Joy's little brother. And this was around the time her daddy died. So she was still a kid herself, just 9 years old. But that's old enough to understand that something was happening around her. And all she could do was watch her mama transform into something even darker than what she had been already. And she was watching Moses get caught in the center of that darkness. Moses started to get in trouble. First, it was for eating too much. Mind y'all, she used to let him eat as much as he wanted first before anybody could eat. So how am I getting in trouble for what you taught me to do? Now that's a problem. He could no longer be curious and ask questions. He got in trouble for that. If Anna put him to work and he got tired, he got in trouble for that. He stayed in trouble with this devilish wench for just being a kid, being the kid that she allowed him to be.
I don't like this lady, man.
For existing in a way that Anna now decided was wrong after she taught him all these behaviors. And when he got in trouble, Anna didn't discipline him. She punished him. The beating started. The whooping started. The kind of whoopings that leave marks. The kind of whoopings that the other children could visibly see the marks on his body. The kind that made it clear to every child at the compound that Moses wasn't special anymore. Moses wasn't chosen anymore. Moses was something that needed to be broken down and remade. Anna then started locking him in closets. I don't know where this locking people in closet shit, but she this is what really was taking me through there. Like,
Putting them in the hole.
but then for the other people, why y'all just didn't go open the fucking door?
It's 50 slaves. There's only 3 slave masters or 3 people working. Why didn't y'all just jump them?
That's true.
Same
True.
mentality, right?
That's true. She was locking him in closets. She started locking him downstairs where the sound wouldn't carry as much. Dark closets where there was nothing to do except sit with your own terror and try to understand why the person who said they loved you had now locked you in the dark. How long was he in there, you ask? Hours and hours and hours. But the kids outside the closet knew when he was in there because you could hear him sometimes. A little kid alone in the dark, crying, begging to be let out or for someone to come in and be with him. He needed help trying to make sense of this sudden and cruel punishment he was now experiencing. And y'all know this evil bitch like playing with folks' food, so she started to starve him. But she learned from her last mistake, so this time it was methodical. She was very deliberate with it. Anna didn't just let him go hungry. She made sure he watched other children eat. She made sure he understood that food was being given to them and withheld from him. Food became a weapon. It became a way to show him that he was less than, that he didn't deserve the same things that the other children deserved. And y'all know her game. So sometimes he got scraps, sometimes just water, most times nothing at all. And poor Joy couldn't do anything except watch this happen. This was her little brother, and she had grown to love him, and she felt helpless because now all she could do was watch him disappear in real time. She remembers how big his eyes had gotten. They were glassy, like they were already looking at something else, something behind the compound. His lips had crust on them from dehydration. His skin looked thin, like almost like paper. Like if you touched him, your fingers would go right through him. That is so crazy. Knowing that he was suffering, one time Joy managed to sneak some water, just because she could. And she remembers how grateful he was, how desperate. Like water was the most precious thing to him in the world. Can you understand the depravity that she got this baby living in?
That is horrible for a kid to go through.
A child thanking another child for thank you so much for bringing me water. Can you imagine what that did to Joy? Like, damn, all I could do is bring him water when I know he needs so much more. That's what mercy looks like in the house of prayer. There were prayer sessions that were punishments too. Anna would make Moses sit and repeat phrases over and over and over. His phrase was, Lord Jesus, save me. I am unclean. Purify me for hours after hour. His voice getting hoarser, his eyes getting more distant, his mind fragmenting under the weight of repetition, under the weight of shame, under the weight of having to say these things about himself over and over and over until he started believing them. That's also my problem with church. If y'all sit in church every day and say, Lord, I ain't shit, I ain't nothing without you, I'm a piece of shit, I'm a sinner, fuck me, it's all about you, at some point, your mind is going to be scattered because you're going to believe that.
This is true.
Sometimes the other children had to join in. They had to participate. had to stand there and watch this baby break apart while they chanted with him. The same things that had happened to Katoya Jackson, the same machinery of destruction, the same system designed to turn children into weapons against each other. Anna seemed to believe, or maybe she just needed to believe, that if she could break Moses completely, if she could strip away his will and identity and his sense of self, if she could remake him into something pure, something that would obey her absolutely, something that would belong to her, something that would prove her theology was right, that suffering could save you, that cruelty could be love. But Moses was a child. His body couldn't survive what she was doing to him. His mind couldn't survive it. His spirit could not survive it. So by the end, he was already gone. Not dead yet, but gone. No viable life left in his little body. Joy saw him in his final days. She described it with the kind of precision that comes from a memory that's been burned into your brain, a memory you carry your whole life. She says he looked like he was disappearing, like he was becoming a ghost while he was still alive, like his body was there, but something essential had already left. And then one day, he wasn't at the compound anymore. Anna gathered the community because she had an announcement. She spoke about Moses the way she always spoke about things, with absolute certainty, with the voice of someone who heard directly from God. She told them Moses had been called to a higher purpose, that he was going to monastery to become a priest. This was supposed to be good news. This was what they should have wanted for him all along. He was being saved in a way that only Mother Anna could arrange. She said it like it was a blessing. And because it was coming out of her mouth, nobody questioned it. Nobody asked which monastery. Nobody asked how a child could just leave in the condition that everybody knew that he was in. He done been starved, beat, dehydrated. How you just finna take him to a monastery?
And who chooses to just go to a monastery at that age? I'm not buying it. Smell like fish, but I don't see water.
Nobody asked while there was no goodbye. Nobody asked anything because that's what you did at the house of prayer. You listened to Mother Anna. You believed what Mother Anna said. You didn't ask questions because questions meant doubt, and doubt meant you weren't faithful enough, and not being faithful enough meant you could be next. So they accepted the story. Moses went to a monastery. Moses was becoming a priest. That was the story, and that was the truth. But Moses did not go to a monastery. What really happened was this. Iman Harper died at the house of prayer. He died from the abuse. He died from starvation and from them beatings and from being locked in them closets for hours and hours and hours. From the psychological torture of forced prayer repetitions, from sleep deprivation, and from having every part of his humanity stripped away until his body simply could not continue. His little organs started to fail, which led to his death. And the person solely responsible for killing him was Anna Young. Not with a single act of violence, but through systemic, methodical, deliberate cruelty designed to break him. And then she said he left.
She was telling the truth when she said God called him for a higher calling.
True. That's true.
Said monastery, she's on bullshit.
After he first died, his body was placed in a small straw hamper, and that hamper was placed in Anna's closet, in the back, in the dark, like he was something to be stored away like a prized possession. She kept him in there until his body started to rot and decompose and started to stink up the entire house. And then she moved him again. She took his body out of the closet and put him in a barrel, and then she burned him. She burned him, Kendall. And not just one time. She burned it 4 days. The barrel was set ablaze. The smell of burning flesh was everywhere, unmistakable and sickening. The kind of smell that gets into your clothes, into your hair, into your lungs. The kind of smell that you can't ignore, and also the kind of smell that stays with you. I ain't never smelled no dead body, y'all, but one time when I was moving, I had a deep freezer and I just had bullshit in there, and I had like let them cut the power off. So all the stuff as I was moving from place to place, all the stuff in the freezer had like melted and y'all, it
Yeah,
was
ice
horrible.
cream, meat.
It was ice cream, it was chicken, it was turkey, it was
Mhm.
beef, it was anything that go in a deep freezer. You know, that deep freezer was stacked with shit. Like it smelled horrible. And Kendall said that dead body smell worse than that.
Yeah.
And this lady is just burning it, got it wafting in the air. No way. No way. No way. And the people at the house of prayer knew. They had to know. They smelled it. They saw the barrel burning. and they knew that a child was missing. They understood on some level what was happening, but nobody stopped it. Nobody called anyone. Nobody questioned Anna. Nobody broke. They just accepted it. They just lived with the smell. They just moved forward like nothing had happened. Maybe some of them told themselves that something else was burning. Maybe some of them refused to think that that could actually happen. Maybe some of them knew exactly what it was and said nothing because speaking meant death, their death, or worse. Whatever the reason, nobody stopped Anna Young from burning the body of a child she had murdered. And then she told the story about the monastery, the story about Moses becoming a priest and the community accepted it. They believed it and they moved on. Iman Harper had been erased, his body destroyed, his name buried under a lie for years. And that was the end of it. Nobody investigated, nobody questioned, nobody ever spoke his name again. And Anna kept running her compound like nothing had happened. She kept taking in broken people, she kept renaming them, she kept promising them salvation. She kept building her empire on the backs of people who had nowhere else to go. The house of prayer kept grinding, and her next victim was already there, unknowingly waiting.
And it ain't shit.
That ain't shit, man.
And it ain't no good. Gonna take that man, his name Moses. They gonna give him the fake Moses story. He's talking about he went to the monastery. Knowing you packed them up and put them in the bed. That's messed up. They gonna have him on fire for days.
After you had them sitting in your closet for weeks. By 1992, the House of Prayer had been running for almost a decade, 9 years to be exact. 9 years of children coming and going. 9 years of people arriving broken and leaving more broken or not leaving at all. 9 years of Anna sitting at the center of it all, making decisions about who belonged and who didn't, what was clean and what wasn't, who deserved food and who deserved punishment. 9 years is a long time to run something like this without consequence. 9 years is a long time for her to have complete unchecked power without anyone on the outside noticing anything, without someone on the outside knowing that they needed to care enough to stop or at least try. But by 1992, cracks were starting to show. Nikki Nicholson's parents thought that they were doing the right thing. They had a daughter who needed help. They heard about the House of Prayer, this community that took in troubled kids, gave them structure, gave them education, gave them discipline. They thought Nikki needed discipline. They thought she needed to be straightened out. So they sent her there. When Nikki arrived, she was 12 years old enough to understand that something was wrong the moment she got there, but not old enough to have left on her own, not old enough to call for help, old enough to be aware of the danger, but trapped inside anyway. She arrived at the compound and quickly understood the rules, the same rules everyone understood. You eat what Mother Anna tells you to eat, you wear what Mother Anna tells you to wear, you pray when Mother Anna tells you the prayer, you obey without question because questions means doubt and doubt means you don't have enough faith. But Nikki had something that some of the other children didn't have. She had parents on the outside, parents who were paying attention, parents who were expecting updates, parents who at some point would start to wonder why their daughter wasn't coming home. And unfortunately for Nikki, Anna looked at her and saw a problem. The problem, according to Anna, was that Nikki smelled bad. Not just bad hygiene, bad in the spiritual sense. Bad in a way that meant something was wrong with her on the inside. Bad in a way that meant she was unclean, possessed, marked by something dark. This was Anna's logic. This was how she understood the world. If someone had a problem, if they smelled, if they looked wrong, if they acted in a way that she didn't like, it wasn't a problem that she could solve with compassion or medical attention or understanding. It was a spiritual problem. It was possession. It was evil. It was the only way to fix it. And the only way to fix it was to break it out of them. Anna decided what Nikki needed was a bath, but not a normal bath. Not something designed to clean her, something designed to purify her, something designed to burn away whatever Anna believed was living inside her. She told Nikki to get into the tub, a metal tub, the kind you use for laundry or for cleaning. Anna filled it with hot water, not warm, hot, burning, scalding water. The kind of hot that makes your skin turn red immediately. Hot to where you kind of start to tingle immediately. Then she added ultra Tide detergent to the water. Industrial strength. It was meant to strip dirt and stains from fabric, not from skin. And it was toxic. It was designed to break things down. Then she added bleach. Industrial bleach. That shit eats through material. And when mixed with other things, it becomes even more dangerous. And then she added some coconut bubble bath for whatever reason. I don't even know what the point of adding that was. This combination made no sense. Then Nikki was held down in that tub, held down by Anna, held down by other adults at the compound, held down while the chemicals mixed with the hot water, held down while her skin started to react to what was happening to it, held down while her body began to break down. The pain was unimaginable. The kind of pain that comes from your body being chemically burned, from your skin melting, from the very structure of who you are being attacked by something you can't escape. She was held there long enough for damage to be done, long enough for irreversible harm to come. When they finally let her out of the tub, her legs was burned from her knees down. The skin had literally melted off, burned away by the combination of heat and chemicals. What had been what had been her legs were now open wounds, raw, open, damaged in a way that would never fully heal. But Nikki survived. Unlike Iman, unlike Katoya, unlike Marcos, Nikki survived the House of Prayers' devilish cleanings, and her survival changed everything. Because once you survive, once you have the chance to get medical attention, once doctors started asking questions about how a 12-year-old ends up with burns like this, the story becomes harder to control. The narrative that Anna had been building, the story that she was a spiritual guide, that she was saving broken people, that everything that she did was for their own good, that story started to crack. So Nikki was taken to the hospital. Somebody that was there finally looked at her and said, we gotta do something. Like, they took her out and was gonna just let her stay at the compound. And somebody was like, "Fuck no. We can't do this."
Mm. Thank you for them people. For
Thank you
that person.
for sure. Somebody finally couldn't carry the weight of what they seen, so somebody called for help. When Nikki arrived at the hospital, her legs were already in crisis. The damage was done. The chemicals had done their work. These were not surface burns. These were deep burns, the kind that destroys tissue, that melts your flesh, that creates wounds that won't ever heal. Her parents found out, the phone call came, the words, "Your daughter is in the hospital," followed by medical explanations that they couldn't quite process. So they got in the car and they came. They saw, and when they saw, something broke open inside of them because they had sent their daughter to the house of prayer thinking she would be safe, thinking she would be disciplined, thinking she would be helped. But instead, this destruction, this violence. They had to look at what had been done to their child's body. They had to understand that they handed her over to someone who had done this purposely, that they had trusted someone with their daughter, and that someone had held her down in chemicals. The guilt was immediate, it was crushing. It was the kind of guilt that parents carry for the rest of their lives. But there wasn't time to sit with it. There was a child in a hospital who needed help. The doctors who examined Nikki understood immediately what they were looking at. They looked at the burns on her legs, they looked at the pattern, they looked at the severity, and they knew this wasn't an accident. A child doesn't accidentally end up in a tub of industrial detergent with bleach and water and coconut body wash. Like, no way.
That don't even make sense for a kid to combine.
No way. Even if y'all said y'all was cleaning, she was 12. So the moment that one of her feet felt that hot water, there was no fucking way she was finna step her other one in there.
That's true.
A child doesn't accidentally have their skin melted off from, and if my foot touched it, there's no way I'm finna step higher for it to go to my knee. No way. No way. The burns were consistent with immersion. They showed a deliberate holding down. The depths of the damage showed prolonged exposure. This wasn't a splash. This wasn't carelessness. This was intentional. One doctor examined the wounds more closely. The tissue was destroyed, completely destroyed in some places. Where there should have been skin, it was now raw, open flesh.
Burns had gone through the epidermis, through the dermis, into the subcutaneous tissue. This child was going to carry these wounds for the rest of her life.
How did this happen? The doctors asked. And Nikki explained what they did to her. She described being held down in the tub. She described watching them dump the chemicals into the water. She had to use descriptive words to make the doctors understand what Anna Young had done to her body because they couldn't understand how something purposely did this to another human. Like, she was telling them, and they like, No, explain to me what happened. They put me in a tub. They put no. Explain to me how they did
Well,
that.
Imma explain to you, alright.
Because you just cannot believe that this happened. She told them that Anna said that she was unclean or something like that, and the doctors listened and they understood. This wasn't a spiritual issue. This wasn't a discipline issue. This was assault. This was torture. This was a child being deliberately harmed, and they started making phone calls. They called the authorities. They told the authorities, "We have a child who has severe chemical burns consistent with intentional immersion. We have a child who described being held in a tub of chemicals by an adult. We need an investigation." The medical documentation began. Photographs were taken, the extent of the damage was recorded, and medical reports were filed. The evidence was preserved. This couldn't be happening. This couldn't be explained away. The body doesn't lie. The wounds on Nikki's legs told the entire story. Her parents sat at the hospital. They watched their daughter's body being treated. They watched the doctors and nurses working to save her leg. They watched as their daughter was being introduced to pain management because the wounds hurt in ways that was hard to describe. Nerve damage, exposed tissue, healing that would take months and months and months and would never be complete. But the doctors were already moving. The system, slow as it is, was finally being triggered. A child with severe chemical burns was in a hospital, and medical professionals who understood what they were looking at were asking the right questions. And the answers pointed to one place, the house of prayer. And the investigation had begun. And Anna felt it coming. In 1992, she felt the walls closing in. Investigators asking harder questions, survivors talking. The story she built started to unravel. She didn't wait for warrants. She packed up what she could and she left. Just walked away from the compound, from the children who depended on her, from all the evidence of what she had done. And for 9 years, nobody knew where she was. The investigators kept working. They documented Katoya's death. They documented Iman's death. They tried to piece together exactly what happened to Marcos. But the woman at the center of all of it was gone. Some people thought that she left the country. Some thought she changed her name completely. And some thought she was dead. She wasn't. In 2001, the FBI found her in an attic in Alton, Illinois, where she was hiding in a dark and small space between the walls. The irony would have been funny if it wasn't so dark. The woman who had locked children in closets had ended up in one herself, and they arrested her. They charged her with child abuse. One charge, not for the murders of Katoya, not for Iman, just the abuse of that 12-year-old girl, the one whose skin had been melted with bleach in a bath. And she was convicted. She was sentenced to 6 months. 6 months for 9 years of systemic torture. I was 12 years old when you burnt me up. I'm 21 when you go to jail and you do 6 months. But that's all they gave her. At this point, they didn't charge her for the psychological destruction. They didn't charge her for killing Iman. They didn't charge her for Katoya. They just charged her for what she did to Nikki. And she did her 6 months. And when she got out, she went to Georgia, Marietta, Cobb County to be exact. She found a quiet house, became invisible. Just another woman at the grocery store, paying bills and living an ordinary life. Nobody knew who she was. Nobody recognized her. She was safe. She thought it was over. But while Anna was settling into that quiet life, the survivors were doing something that she hadn't anticipated. They were speaking. In 2004, John Neal stood up in front of people and told them about his little sister, Katoya Jackson. He said her name out loud. He talked about being forced to be his own sister. Every time he spoke, he was breaking the silence that had protected Anna. Fonda Favors began connecting with other survivors. They started building community, a network of people who refused to let Anna Young disappear into normal life without consequences. And little Nikki didn't hide her scars. Every time she had to relearn a movement, every time the chemical burns ached, every time she looked in the mirror, she was confronted with proof of what Anna had done. And she let it be seen. And Joy was creating. She was finding her voice. She was telling stories. She was thinking about her mother. She wasn't ready yet to speak her name out loud, but she was getting close. She was building a platform that would eventually allow her to tell her truth. And Anna was, while all this was happening, she was just living in Cobb County, thinking that all the danger that she had caused to people had passed, thinking that she was safe. She didn't understand that the horses don't stop, they keep going. Yeah. Why you lose your life when it gonna keep going? Them horses didn't stop. They just, slowed down a little bit. But it was waiting, and it was gathering momentum in the background. The survivors were gathering. They were speaking. They were refusing to let this story die. And in the mind of one woman, the daughter that she had left behind, a decision was forming. A decision to break the silence. A decision to betray her own mother. It would take 15 years, but it was coming. In December of 2016, on an ordinary day, in an ordinary moment, Joy Fluker would find the courage to pick up the phone and call the police. She would say her mother's name. She would break the spell that Anna had cast. But first, there was one more moment that mattered. One more conversation that would set everything into motion. December 27th, Atlanta, Georgia. Joy Flukers is with her mother. Anna is criticizing how she is raising her kids, telling her that she lacks discipline, telling her that she's doing it wrong. And the correct way was the way that Anna had always done things. Anna started offering moral authority, and that was hard for Joy to accept from this woman who spent decades running a torture compound. No way. And that breaks something inside of Joy. She went straight up and asked her, "How you gonna tell me how to raise my kids when you killed 2 children?"
Mm.
Looks her dead in her face.
Mm.
You got any answers for that, Miss Lady? Since you are the authority on raising children, the words are out and they couldn't be taken back. Anna's response is immediate. She throws a metal lamp at Joy's head. It's the same impulse driven her whole life. When someone says something you don't like, you destroy them. But this time, Joy didn't stay silent. She doesn't accept the violence and moves on. She picks up her phone and she calls the Achula County Sheriff's Office. Her hands are shaking. Her voice is barely steady. "How can I snitch on my mom?" she asked the dispatcher. "I don't know if I'm doing the right thing. Isn't this something that a family is never supposed to tell?" She's asking herself, really, but she keeps talking. She tells them everything, and then she hangs up. "You threw this lamp at me, and now I done told these people your whole business. Now what?"
Hmm.
Now what? The wheels of justice started turning. Detective Kevin Allen picks up the case. When he first reads it, he's skeptical. 9 years, decades of abuse, children dying, bodies being buried. It sounds like fiction. But as he starts investigating, as he starts talking to survivors, he realizes if half of what Joy Fluker says is true, this is the biggest case he's ever touched in his life. And surprise, surprise, it was indeed all true. John Neal was the first to come forward with the scars on his back and the weight of having to beat his own sister. Fonda Favors describes the control. Nikki shows the chemical burns on her legs, evidence written on her body that can't be denied. Leah Vera, Katoya's mom, speaks for the first time in nearly 30 years about the daughter she lost. "This has been a long time coming," she said. "The investigation builds fast. Evidence is gathered. The timeline is reconstructed. The scope of what happened at the House of Prayer becomes undeniable. And by 2017, a grand jury is convened. They listen, they understand, and they quickly all agree that they need to indict Anna bitch ass for murder."
Mm.
November 30th, 2017, FBI agents go to Marietta, Georgia. They knock on a door of a quiet house where Anna Young has been living her quiet life, and they arrest her. The woman who spent nearly 3 decades evading real justice. The woman who served 6 months for what she's done. The woman who lived freely while survivors carried their trauma. She's finally arrested for what she actually did. For Joy, it's complicated. This is her mother, the woman who raised her, who broke her in ways that she's still recovering from. But it's also liberation. The silence finally breaks. The things she's been carrying, the things she witnessed, they finally matter. For the survivors, it meant validation. It means that what they experienced wasn't their fault. It means Anna Young was the broken one all along. For Leah, it means 30 years of waiting might finally lead somewhere. It means her daughter's name will be spoken in a courtroom. It means the person who killed her might finally face real consequences. Detective Allen and his team document everything. They build a case that's airtight. They make sure Anna Young can't escape this time. She's arrested, the house of prayer is exposed, and the silence is broken. But the reckoning, the real reckoning, is still coming. The official story was that Kathy Davidson went missing in Warren Dunes Park on Labor Day weekend, 1973. She wandered off. She was lost. Despite extensive searches, despite people from multiple states, nobody found her. That's the official story. Here's what actually happened. Chicago, 1973. The house on Hermosa Drive. Anna and Robert lived there with Robert's 6 children from his previous marriage for that summer. And for whatever reason, Anna did not like Kathy at all. And because of her disdain, she wanted Kathy away from her and all the other kids. And she did that by doing what, Kendall?
Locking her in a closet.
Locking her in the closet. The other children heard her. They heard scratching sounds. She was scratching the door for hours, and then the scratching stopped. One of the siblings saw Kathy's body later, small, curled up in a fetal position, dead. A 6-year-old girl locked in the dark until her lungs gave up, until she suffocated. That's what happened to Kathy Davidson. Then Anna and Robert had a choice: call for help, tell the truth, or face what they'd done, or hide it. They opted to hide it. They called Robert's brother Marvin. The three of them moved the body and they disposed of it. They erased all the evidence. Then they created a story: the narrative of Warren Doom, the lie of a child who wandered off, the cover story that would protect them. Now, I get all kids aren't as vocal as I was able to be, but how did you get 5 kids to stick to a lie that their sister was in that car with them when she wasn't?
You don't wanna be like your sister?
So it was fear. They did it through fear. I hate that they had to lie like that. I hate that she put that on them kids like that. Because if you know your sister wasn't in that car and then she don't come back, I hate she did that to them. And then they moved to Georgia. They built a new life. They buried the secret so deep that for nearly 50 years, nobody knew the truth. But her siblings knew. The children who heard the scratching, the children who saw the body, they knew. When Joy called the police in 2016, when the investigation reopened, when survivors started speaking, the truth about Kathy finally came out. Kathy Davidson was murdered, not by a stranger, not by accident, but by her stepmother, by Anna Young, by the man who was supposed to be her father, Robert Davidson, locked in a closet, left to suffocate. Her body has never been found. The investigators know that she's dead and they know how she died, but they don't know where she is. They don't know if she was buried somewhere. They don't know if her remains have been scattered. They don't know where to find her. And today, technically, the case is still open. The FBI still looks, but for 50 years, Kathy was just a missing child, a cold case, a tragedy. Her death was hidden, her name was buried, and she was made to disappear. Now the world knows. Now everyone knows that Kathy Davidson was murdered in a closet on Hermosa in Chicago, that she was 6 years old, that she had siblings who loved her, that her life was stolen from her, and her body may never come home. But her story is no longer buried. Her truth is no longer hidden. I think on the way from Chicago to Florida, they threw that baby in some body of water.
Sheesh.
Then on February 17th, 2021, Gainesville, Florida, the 8th Judicial Circuit. Anna Young is 79 years old. Gray hair, lined face. She looks like someone's grandmother, but she spent decades breaking children. The prosecution presents the case. Katoya Jackson, 2 years old, starved and beaten until her heart gave out. Iman Harper, locked in a closet, deprived of food and dignity until his body gave out. His body burned in a barrel. The years of systemic abuse. The way the House of Prayer designed to break children. Anna is asked to enter a plea. No contest to second-degree murder of Iman Harper. No contest to manslaughter in Katoya Jackson's death. It means that she's not admitting guilt exactly, but she's not fighting it either. She gets to maintain some thin fiction of innocence while being punished for murder. The courtroom is full on the day she takes her pleas. Survivors, family members, people who've been carrying this weight were finally in a room where it counts. The impact statements began. Joy stands up. This is her mother, the woman who gave her life, the person who broke her. And she's about to speak in front of a judge and say what her mother did. She is and will always be my mother, who I will love until the day that I die, Joy said. And it's true. Complicated, painful, but true. You don't stop loving your mother just because she's a monster. She talks about Iman, Moses, as they called him, about his beatings, about his starvation, about how desperate he was for water, about the boy who lived only a few short years. Moses taught me that life is too big to be swept under a rug, imprisoned in a home, or buried in the ground. Then John Neal stands up, scarred, literally and figuratively. A man who was forced to beat his own sister. He says Katoya's name, Kay. That's what they called her. Because of her life being taken, she never got to grow up, never got to get married and have kids, he said. Me and Katoya never got to grow up together. He's crying. The man with scars all over his back is crying because his sister was murdered before she could even have a real life. She would have been 33 years old this year, Leah said. She's been waiting 30 years for this. 30 years since her daughter died at the house of prayer. 30 years of knowing Anna got away with it. This has been a long time coming. Other survivors speak. They describe the closets, the starvation, the way Anna convinced them that suffering was salvation. Then Anna gets to speak. She thanks her attorneys. She says something vague about God knowing the truth. She expresses zero remorse. She shows no understanding of what she's done. Then she sits back down. I don't have nothing for y'all. Judge Mosley listened to all of it. He understands the scope. It's not just 2 deaths, it's decades of systematic abuse. A woman who built an entire empire on the suffering of children. And then he speaks. All innocent blood cries out from the ground for an answer, Judge Mosley says. Only the cowardly would fail to join in that cry and desire that justice be done. He sentences Anna Young to 30 years for second-degree murder of Iman Harper, 15 years for the manslaughter of Katoya Jackson. Concurrent sentences, 30 years total. She's 79 years old. 30 years means she'll likely die in prison. For Joy, the sentencing is complicated. Her mother is going to die in prison, but it's also the moment when the silence is finally broken. When what happened at the house of prayer is finally official. For John Neal, it's validation. His sister's death was not natural causes. His sister was murdered, and the person who murdered her is going to prison. For Leah, it's the answer she's been waiting years to hear. Justice, such as it is, has finally been served. Anna doesn't break. She doesn't cry. She doesn't show any emotion. She's sentenced. She's taken into custody. The quiet life in Georgia is over. The wheels of justice, though slow, has finally caught up with Anna Young. 42 days, Kendall. That's how long Anna Young served of her 30-year sentence. On February 17th, 2021, she was sentenced. On March 31st, 2021, she died at Florida's Women's Reception Center, COVID-19.
Oh,
The virus that was killing the vulnerable, sick, and old. And she was 2 of those things, so it crossed her out. And she died in prison. She died alone. She died without serving a sentence that was supposed to hold her accountable. For some people, there's irony in that. The woman who controlled life and death for so many years, who decided who lived and who died, who starved children and burned bodies, she was finally taken out by something she couldn't control, something she couldn't manipulate, and something that you could not pray away. But for the survivors, it's complicated. For Joy, her mother is dead. The woman who gave her life, who raised her in a cult, who broke her down. She's gone. Joy will never have the chance to make her understand what she did. Will never hear an apology. That will never come. There's grief in that. Even when the person you're grieving is a monster. For John, it means Katoya's killer is gone. The person who ruined his childhood, she's dead. She doesn't get to exist anymore. But it also means that she didn't sit in a cell and think about what she'd done. She didn't have to carry guilt or remorse. She just died. She escaped the full consequences. And for Leah, it's different. She waited 30 years for justice. She finally got it. She finally heard a judge say her daughter was murdered. She got to speak Katoya's name in a courtroom and have it matter. But she didn't get to see Anna sit in a cell and think about what she had done. Because Anna eggs was so scrambled, I don't think she was going to see, even if it would have been 47 days or 47 months, she was never going to give a fuck about what she did.
nah,
Like she,
not even a little bit.
Anna Young is dead. The House of Prayers founder, Mother Anna, the woman who had control over so many lives is gone. But the trauma remains. The scars remains. John's back is still scarred. Nikki's legs are still burnt. The children who were killed are still dead. And the mysteries are still unsolved. Anna's death doesn't heal anything. doesn't undo what she did, doesn't bring back Katoya or Iman or Marcos. She's just gone. And the survivors are still here, carrying what she did to them. Some people will call it justice, some will call it an escape, some will call it relief, but everyone agrees on this. Anna Young is finally irreversibly gone. She can't hurt anyone else. She can't manipulate anyone else. She can't break anyone else. For the survivors, that's something. It's not everything, but it is something. After Anna died, the survivors had to figure out what comes next. Joy didn't stop creating. In 2021, she founded Prevent the Pain, a nonprofit dedicated to preventing child abuse and advocating for survivors. She took what happened at the House of Prayer and built something that could help other people, could protect other children from experiencing what she had experienced. She also became a consulting producer on the Followers House of Prayer podcast. She told her story. She told Iman's story. She told Katoya's story. She made sure it was documented, preserved, that future generations would know what Anna Young did. John Neal lives in Kennesaw now. Every time he looks in the mirror, every time he showers, he's reminded, but he also speaks. He goes places and tells people what happened to his sister. He says Katoya's name out loud so she doesn't disappear. He makes sure people understand she wasn't just a medical statistic. She was a child, a loved child, a child who should have gotten to grow up. He's become the keeper of her memory, a man who holds space for her absence in a way that honors who she was. Fonda Favors lives in Ocala. She rebuilt her life from the rubble of what Anna destroyed. It took years. It took therapy, but she did it. She connected with other survivors. He became part of a community of people who understood what she's been through because they've also been through it. And Nikki is walking, really walking. Her legs are scarred from the beach bath. She's marked, evidence of what was done to her, but they carry her forward anyway. Every time she stands, every time she walks, she's proven that Anna didn't destroy her, that the chemicals in that tub didn't take her away, and that the person who tried to kill her failed. Leah finally got to mourn her daughter properly. The system had told her Katoya died of natural causes, that there was nothing to investigate, that she should accept it and move on. And then a judge said, your daughter was murdered. Your daughter's death was not natural. Your daughter was a victim of a crime. Leah could finally grieve properly, could finally honor her daughter's death as what it was, a loss, a tragedy, and a murder. Now, Leah, you knew it was a murder because you heard her beating her in the closet, so you didn't need them people to tell you that. You knew what it was. You knew she killed your daughter and you kept your son there.
She did do that. But I guess hearing that judge say something, it gave some sort of solace.
Survivors just didn't move on. They transformed what happened to them into action. They reclaimed their stories. They reclaimed their voices. They reclaimed their power. The House of Prayer tried to break them. Anna Young tried to destroy them. And they survived. Not just survived, but built something. Anna is gone. The House of Prayer is closed. The control has stopped, but the survivors are still here and they're not going anywhere. The prayer is closed, but there are other houses of prayers out there, other compounds, other leaders who convince people that they're special, who convince people that they're chosen, who convince people that suffering is salvation. So let's talk about what to watch for. How to recognize when a community has shifted from spiritual to dangerous. A real spiritual community doesn't isolate you from family. If someone, a leader, a mentor, a person in authority, is telling you to cut off contact with your parents, your siblings, your old friends, that's a warning sign. Isolation is how control begins. A real spiritual community doesn't control your money. If you're required to give all of your earnings to the group, if you can't access your own finances, if decisions about money are made for you, that's control, it's not faith. A real spiritual community doesn't use fear. If you're afraid to question, if you're afraid to leave, if you're afraid of what will happen to you, speak up. You're in danger. Fear is the machinery of cults. It's how they keep people trapped. A real spiritual community doesn't have one person with all the power. If one person claims to speak for God, if one person decides what's right and wrong, if one person gets to punish people for breaking rules that they made, that's not spirituality. That's a dictatorship. Move to Russia. A real spiritual community allows questioning, allows doubt, allows people to think for themselves. If you're not able to think, if you're told your doubts are demons, if you're told to trust completely and never question, you're being broken down. You're being prepared to be controlled. A real spiritual community doesn't punish children. It doesn't starve them. It doesn't lock them in closets. It doesn't beat them for infractions. If children are being hurt, if abuse is being justified as discipline or spiritual teachings, you need to call someone. You need to get out. You need to save those children. If you recognize these signs in the community that you are a part of, here's what you can do. Reach out to someone outside the community, a family member, a friend, someone who can see the situation clearly. Tell them what happened. Be specific, be detailed, and don't minimize it. Contact the National Cult Awareness Network. They have resources. They have people who understand what you're experiencing. They can help you think through whether you're in danger. If children are being abused, call the police. Call Child Protective Services. Make a report. What Joy did in 2016 took courage, but it saved lives. If you know a child is being hurt, you have a responsibility to report it. If you're trying to leave a cult community, understand that it will be hard. The community will tell you you can't survive without them, that you fail, that God will punish you. That's manipulation. You can survive. You will survive. There are people who will help you. Find a therapist who understands cult trauma. PTSD from cult experiences is real. Psychological manipulation causes real damage. You need professional support to heal from it. Connect with other survivors. Join a support group. There are people who've been where you are, who understand what you're experiencing, and who can walk with you through recovery. The House of Prayer teaches us something important. Cults don't announce themselves. They don't say, join us, we're going to break you down. They start with promises, safety, community, belonging. Then slowly they begin to control, to isolate, to break. The people in the House of Prayer didn't think that they were joining a cult. They thought they were joining a spiritual community. They thought that they were finding salvation. And by the time they understood what was happening, they were already trapped. Don't let that be you. Don't let that be someone you love. If something feels wrong, it probably is. Trust your instincts. Reach out, get help, and get out. This,
It's how we do it.
no, 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 no. But y'all, that's the truth about cults. That's how they operate. That's how they break you down. Y'all stay safe out there. And as y'all already know, when it's on the docket, we gon' clock it. Yo, yo, yo. We got some comments, boss. All right, y'all. We got our first 1-star review this week. I almost cried, y'all. My feelings was a little hurt. But luckily, you know what I'm saying? I can respect if you give me a 1-star if you tell me what it's for.
Okay.
I can respect that. Tell me what your grievances is. So we gonna hear the grievances together. You ready? I recently started listening, and while I initially enjoyed this podcast, there was an episode where they talked way too much about their dislike for religion and Christianity. If they are non-believers, that's their right, but we the listeners shouldn't have to hear it. This is true crime. If y'all want to go to hell, keep it off the podcast. Thanks. And this is for the love of games.
I'm on the highway to hell.
Dun, 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 dun.
Highway to hell.
Now let me say this. Your opinion is your opinion, right? I just told y'all how to get out of a cult. If you think me talking about your religion is going to send me to hell, you need to call the National Cult Helpline to get your mind right.
Well, then who's going to help pay for the church mortgage, Tammy?
Well, let me say this to you for the love of games. I know the word. You don't ever have to worry about if I know the word, but I know the word enough to know that in the book it say that you should not judge, nor shall you try to send somebody to damnation. Don't it say that in there somewhere?
They do say that.
So who are you to tell me that I'm going to hell? It's a difference between not being a believer and not having faith. I have a whole bunch of faith, but I don't believe that no house, no place, no man is going to tell me where I'm going to end up. First of all. Second of all, what was my second of all? I've been thinking about this for some days that I had for you. So what was my second of all? What I just said was second of all. First of all, this our motherfucking shit.
Well, you gave them the ability to come and have comments and you read them. So
right, but I'm saying when I say this is our shit, if I wanted to have a whole episode about how fuck the church and fuck everybody in it, this my shit. This is your shit. How you gonna tell me and Kendall what to talk about on me and Kendall podcast?
wasn't talking to me. And then she wasn't talking to me. I'm telling you, she wasn't talking to me.
Hey,
She wasn't talking to me.
man. Hey, man.
That's my best response. She wasn't talking to me.
Hey, man. Say, man. I said this long ago in the earlier episodes. I understand we ain't gonna be for everybody. And that's cool. No harm, no foul. We gonna thank you for the 1-star review, and we're gonna thank you for saying what your gripe was. You may be listening to this, you may not. But seek help, shawty. Like, please go talk to somebody. Please go talk to somebody. I'm gonna go to hell because I told y'all that y'all be getting scammed and tricked in the church.
Yeah, you're going against the system.
Girl, boo. But you know what? They hated Jesus in your book, didn't they? You being like the well, who the people who didn't like Jesus?
The
in there?
Pharisees.
You being like the Pharisees. Ho. Don't make me cuss you out now. But on to some peace and positivity because we don't have time for that bull ass shit right there. Next up.
Need to stop giving them niggas airtime.
But see, I ain't gonna be fake like that. I'm not just gonna read the people who fuck with us because it is gonna be people that don't like us. The lady who said our mics was fucked up, she had that right. This Judas deserved. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Hey, listen, okay? Okay. She believed in that book. They took everything from them, but this book is truth. This is the truth that they are giving you.
And you know what's so interesting? So I snatched up this group of people, then I gave them this book. And this book is supposed to help this group of people be free. But I snatched them up for my own benefit. Why would I then give them something that's supposed to help them be free, which would then be my downfall?
I have never
Spoken from the side of a cracker, by the way.
I have never given these people anything to benefit them except for this book. I took everything else for the benefit, but this book right here is gonna give y'all salvation. Come on, man. Come on. Girl, you better light some motherfucking page and get your life together.
Oh, see, here you go with that witchcraft. Uh-oh.
You better
There
get
you
your
go.
life together.
Witchcraft.
You better get your life together.
Booga, booga, booga shit.
Listen. But anyway, back to the people that fuck with us. Big Red. Big Red, Big Red. She say, I love y'all podcast, shawty. Great storytelling, for real, for real. Can you please do your next podcast about Nicole Smith? She was raped and killed in 95 off Campbellton Road. Had that scared to come outside the whole summer. Hot off the request lines next week. Nicole Smith, that is our topic. Big Red, thank you for listening to us. Thank you for rocking with us.
Mhm.
Let me see. Do I know any Campbellton Road songs? No, I don't know no Campbellton Road songs. Next, we have a comment from Dara Evans. She said, absolutely love the podcast, Tammy. You're hilarious. So glad I came across your show. I'll be catching up soon. Thanks, fam. Be so good when people don't be haters. We go to TikTok.
You just saying that because you're going to hell.
Hello, damnation,
Hater.
Barbie up. This one is coming from Julian Rockstar on TikTok. I love when people bios be simple but straight to the point. This shit say 30 and gay as fuck. When I first seen it, I said, "Oh yeah, this my type of people. I like this cutting up." But Julian said, "Hello. First of all, I want to say I am enjoying the podcast. The Black Docket, Sisters Who Kill, and Melanin Mayhem. I enjoy y'all a lot, especially during my morning commute. Have you heard about the case of Jason Madison Jr.? First of all, thank you for listening to us early in the AM, Julian.
Yeah,
thank
with your
you,
gay
thank
ass.
you. Kendall, you cannot say that.
He said it. I'm just simply agreeing with the young man said.
Happy Pride by
Being
Post
comfortable.
Pride.
Yeah, there you go. See, and I'm treating him normal. That's how they want to be treated. Don't treat me different because, yeah, so if we was on the block together, guess what? We'd be cutting his ass too. So it's love.
I love the gays.
Hey, man. Mad love for the gays.
I love the gays. Like,
All of that. I'm really cool with all the outcasts.
I don't know why the gays be outcasts.
Because they gay.
The straights need to be outcasts.
But the straights are fighting being gay, and they don't want to come out and say that they're gay, so they're going to make the gays outcast. That's what I'm starting to realize. Just from hanging out with the gays and seeing the difference in like really processing what's the issue with the gays, it has to boil down to that.
I love the gays, man. As a straight, you know what I'm saying? Me and my men come here and talk to y'all every week. I love the gays. Like, I like the gays more than the straights. You know, the gays don't try to send us to hell though. That's what it is. You know what I'm saying?
There you go.
The gays don't try to send us to eternal damnation. So Julian is
For
now
having an opinion.
for having an opinion.
Sheesh.
Tell you, Julian done came with about 8 recommendations. So shout out to Julian. He is making my job easier. He is now the what's it called? The person that make the decisions on what the stories is about. That's the producer. Julian is now the producer of the Black Docket podcast. Thank y'all very much. All recommendations go through Julian. He is in charge of this. He has his July on lock, and then after that, go through Julian for all requests. Thank you. Next comment is coming from Mohawk Brand. This is on When Love Turns Deadly, the story of Amanita Smith. It says, thanks for the basic training flashback with the cadence you played. Your daddy was home when you left. You left. Your mama was home. I left my home to join the army. They could have, I'm telling you, if they would have shown me a program and that was the cadence, they might have would have been able to get me.
Let me tell you.
The rats, the mats, the hogs, the frogs,
but you wouldn't
the
have
daddy was
lasted because you would have to wake up early.
You learn that chant. If it was in the first week where I learned that chant, I still wouldn't have made it, but that alone would have got me to the orientation meeting for sure. Once they said you got to be up at 5 o'clock and people scream in your face, now I'm out.
I don't believe they tell you got to be up.
See?
You find that out when you get up.
And it'll be time for me to go home. Dishonorable discharge. Get this bitch up out of here. But that is a hit. That's a hit, man. Whoever came up with that, y'all need to pay them. Shanice said,
What makes you think that they get paid?
when you come up with stuff for the army, a little tune like that, they don't get paid.
Listen,
Mohawk Brand, you got to come back. Do they pay y'all for that? If I make a chant and everybody, whoever, live, right, live.
Get on up.
Wait, not drama.
Okay,
Just to let
fault.
whoever made that, they deserve to be paid.
They ain't paying them. Well, it's probably a sergeant, so technically they are getting paid.
Oh no, if I come up with a chant, somebody that was in the armed forces, military services, please tell me if y'all get paid.
You think they get extra?
Yeah.
I don't know, man.
That's like
I feel like that's the loophole. You work for me, so I'm technically paying you.
Oh no. Whoever came up with
But hopefully somebody's gonna respond and tell us. But that's what I think they would do.
Guess that.
That's what I think they would do.
People deserve to be paid for that. And if not,
I agree.
If not, I don't like that.
But I don't believe they paying them.
And then we have one from Janice. She said, I don't know why I fall out every time you say biracial and heroin. Now, I can't say biracial, but heroin, I cannot say that. so that's why I say the heroin. But heroin.
They say heroin too.
But the correct, I can't say it. So
heroin.
That's heroin.
You got issues.
I can't say it, y'all. So we just got to stick with heroin.
H-dog.
Heroin. And then she was on the Tia Skinner episode. She said, dumbass teenager, shaking my head. Love y'all.
When you're a teenager, you do dumb stuff. So
yeah, my dumb stuff was...
It just may not have been on that level.
My dumb stuff was trying to sneak people in the house. Never go stab my mama up.
Yeah, that's the dumb stuff.
I'm going to bring my mama on here one day and to ask her if she remember that. And then she said, it's always the light-skinned ones that are the most militant.
Hey, I bet you if I was talking to mine and you asked her, she ever remember it moment for moment, the hour I did it? Everything.
Hey, Kendall, man, listen.
Nigga can't get away with nothing.
Miss Christie said, one of my favorites right up there with Melanin Mayhem. I wait on y'all episodes because they are always fire. And they are always long enough for me to get into a working groove while working. If I'm called away from my office, I rewind so I don't miss a second of y'all stories telling. Keep dropping the new episodes. Cree from Illinois. One of the best to ever do it.
Mm-hmm.
Boom, Cree. It's when people used to like
Had their little tags.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I love a
tags, you know what I'm saying?
tag.
Bring back the voicemail music.
I love a good tag. Cree Cree from Illinois. We got Cree Cree from Illinois checking in on the ones and twos.
Mm-hmm.
Go back to calling the radio. That's probably where you got a tag line from. I like tag. I'm about to go make me a tag tonight.
I'm Del Rob from Harlem.
That sound about like you.
That's it.
And this was from Gina B. It says, "Thank you from the bottom of my heart. Thank you. I so appreciate all the work and research you did to tell Marcellus' story. He did not deserve to die. He should still be here. The state of Missouri murdered an innocent man. It still hurts my heart just thinking about it. But thank you again for telling the story with accuracy, love, and respect. You are so welcome." Still don't know what to say about the case. Like, all I can do is implore everybody in Missouri that listen to go vote. We can't do nothing but vote.
Mm.
Because you don't have no evidence, and just for shits and giggles, when the family is saying we don't think that that's right, to still kill him is crazy.
Yeah, that was out of pocket.
Being so ready to hook up old Sparky is crazy,
But they get a kick out of that.
and that's why you need to go vote.
They get a kick out of that.
That's crazy. And those are all our comments for this week. As y'all know, send y'all recommendations, send y'all comments, good or bad or indifferent. We gonna read them.
Yes, we are. We ain't scared of nothing. We
Good
accepting all types of smoke
or
in the
bad or
comments.
indifferent. I'm gonna talk about it. I'm gonna have feelings
Mhm.
about it. Kendall's gonna pay you dust. He's not gonna care.
Well, I'm gonna listen.
Yeah,
I'ma
you're not gonna give a damn.
I'm not, but I'm gonna listen.
So yeah, that's what we have. So comment. Y'all make sure y'all are liking. Make sure y'all are following. Follow. Apple Music, Spotify, YouTube, wherever y'all listen to this. Make sure that y'all are following.
TikTok.
And another thing, I feel like ever since I've been born, there have been so many unprecedented times. From 9/11 to COVID to now this man being a president and now a felon. These times need to start being precedented state, and I'm not playing. I'm putting my foot down. Start precedenting the times. I cannot keep up. I cannot keep living like this. Every single time I turn around, I'm the first to experience something. I don't want to be the first anymore. I want to be like the second or third. Like back in the day, all they had was like the bubonic plague. Okay, get over it. Every single time I go to sleep, I wake up unprecedented times. This needs to end. I literally cannot handle another unprecedented time. Get some precedent around this hoe or else.
It's time for unprecedented times, y'all.
Mhm.
Now, we ain't have many stories for y'all, but these last 2 weeks that we've been gone, child, so much has been happening.
What's been happening?
First and foremost, I started this week off when the devil Clyde Davis died. The pits of hell opened up for him to go down there.
Yes.
He died at the age of 94. This was 2 weeks ago, and my comment was, I need the biopics on my desk by Saturday. So by next Saturday, stat, I need the biopics on my desk. I need to know what Clive was out there doing.
Hmm.
Put your tinfoil hat on real quick. I
Okay.
believe Clive killed Whitney.
Mhm.
I believe he killed Michael Jackson, and I
Okay.
believe he killed Prince.
Okay. I can get down with that.
And whatever is wrong with Ray J, I feel like that's Clive Davis doing as well.
Mhm.
I literally think that man was the devil reincarnated, for real. But that's just me. Y'all can take your hats off
Phew.
now.
That's a heavy title.
The next story I got, a nurse practitioner from Nevada has been charged with multiple federal felonies after being accused of using clinics in the Houston area to steal hundreds of millions of dollars in Medicare. Yarzel Yuki of Las Vegas was indicted on federal Medicare fraud charges, accused of working with others to defraud terminally ill people by providing them with unnecessary treatments and building the government for their care. This wench stole $900 million. $900 million from the government. She took that and built a resort in the Philippines. So they then took over the resort that she built, and it was like it was a beautiful resort. But they said the resort only cost 2 M's. So she got
So she pocketed $7
$998 million.
Oh no.
I don't know how
That's a come up.
anybody in medical billing and coding, can y'all tell me what she could have possibly been ringing up for $900 million? What the fuck was you telling them that them people was getting? Whole new human transfers? $900 million.
Transfers. Transplants.
When you racked up the first 100 million, you said, let's do this nine more times?
8 more times? Man.
That's wild, banana. She's going to jail. And the last time I talked to y'all, it was before trading started for the NBA. So the first story I had for y'all was that Julius Randle, this seemed little bitty now. This don't even matter.
Mhm.
Julius Randle was traded to the Nets.
Mm.
That was the first one I took. Like, that was breaking news. Like, oh shit, they got rid of Julius Randle.
Mm.
And then we got Giannis to the Miami Heat.
Giannis and Bobby Portis.
Giannis and Bobby Portis. They going to Miami. Randall leaving the Timberwolves, I think that's great. I think he should actually retire. Giannis to the Heat,
LaMelo Ball to the Timberwolves.
Melo to the Timberwolves. Now, I think they are going to do something. They still, well, I'm not going to say they need a big because Rudy Gobert do his job.
He does.
Whatever Julius Randle's job was, I think Julius Randle is a cancer to any locker room that he's in. I think he was a problem at the Knicks, right along with Dolan. And I think he was a problem at the Timberwolves. I think it's Julius Randle.
I think when Mitch went to the Celtics, the Sun said to Dolan, I think it's time. Time for you to step down.
Yeah.
Because you're fucking it up.
Fair. Big Tigger.
Rap City.
Rap City. Tigger.
Rap City.
The voice of the Atlanta Hawks, if y'all are listening from Atlanta. He went to jail. They locked him up.
What?
So, okay. We about to get messy real quick. Y'all, we finna yap. So, Big Tigger, as y'all know, he recently just got married and he recently just had a little baby. Now, the lady that he had a little baby by, the people in her hometown is saying this lady is off her rocker. Like, crazy as fuck. Don't believe nothing that she's saying. First, she came out and said Big Tigger hit her. Then she said, no, he didn't hit me. Then she came out and said, I punched him, so he pushed me and I fell. We don't know what happened. But the people from her hood is saying she is crazy and that she kidnapped her daughter 11 years ago and ain't nobody seen the daughter.
Jeez.
Now, nobody has said anything like, oh my God, the daughter is dead. So it almost seems like the court gave custody of the daughter to the daddy and she just took the daughter and never took the daughter back, but the daughter is alive and well. That's how it reads. It doesn't read that this is a missing child and she's never been found. It don't read like that. So, I don't know. I feel like, Tigger, you waited a long time to not be married and not have no kids, to have a baby and a kid and a marriage by a fool.
And this is why dudes don't do it.
And so now I don't listen to Tigger on the morning show because I think he's a hater. I don't think he deserves this, but I do think that he's a hater. The lady that's on the morning show with him is now suing the wife/baby mama because she said, you are bringing me into stuff that has nothing to do with me, and you about to cost both of us our jobs with your bullshit. So she's suing the wife/baby mama. It's messy. It's messy. It's real messy. So y'all know the Knicks won the championship a couple weeks ago.
Yes, they did.
Y'all know that they had a parade because you know you have a parade when you win the championship. And New York had these trash cans that was painted blue and orange. Nice trash cans, right? But it looked like they just took the regular trash cans and just painted it blue and orange.
Yes.
A woman who was an executive at JP Morgan Chase decided to dump the trash out of the trash can, take the trash can on the metro with her to her house, and got her big ass fired. Because you wanted to do this on camera. Sometimes I think shit just be stupid. I don't know how much you make at JP Morgan Chase, but I'm sure you could have paid a crackhead to steal this trash can for you. Why did you think that was okay? Then to come to find out, y'all, they started selling the fucking trash cans and you could just buy one online. You lost your lofty job because you wanted to be a thief
over trash.
Come on, man. We got to do better, y'all. We got to do better. Now, last week we was on here. We was talking about how I used to sit and watch TLC, and I was telling y'all about Colin from John and Kate +8. But once John and Kate +8 ran their course, TLC said we need another family that got a whole bunch of fucking kids. So they went and knocked on keeping up with the Doricos, or getting down with the Doricos or some shit. It was a lady and a man, and they had 14 kids
Mm.
that was black. By the time the Doricos started coming, I would catch an episode here and there, but then that's when I started seeing TLC is problematic, and I think TLC is a cult. Like, I truthfully think TLC is a cult, and I thought the man was gay. Shout out to the gays, but I thought he was gay, and I'm like, if you are gay, why are you having all of these children if you don't even want to be with this lady? So they are in the midst of getting a divorce, and TLC is a cult in how I think Scientology is a cult. Because they are the most powerful, they pay people to get their story out on what they want their story to be. So she was calling her kids. She left a voicemail like, y'all don't even know what I be going through. I deal with so much that I don't tell y'all because y'all kids. But she fucked around and said, I kill all y'all.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? She
They'll say
fucked
that.
around and said that. Well, she didn't say I'll kill all y'all. She said I'll kill him. Like, I just want to kill him. I just want him gone. But she said it. You can hear it, and it's in frustration. What's that man's name? TMZ. TLC paid TMZ to release the audio. So now they finna lock the mother up because she said they got her on death threats. But you said you was gonna kill this man. One thing TLC will do is always pick the parent that's still gonna let them record and do all the things, and they
Mhm.
work hard to make sure that that parent gets the kids to keep them working and keep them paid, and paint the parent that's
The good parent, the actual good.
we're not gonna say good or bad. The parent that don't want to be on TV no more, you become the villain. Because when they had 7 kids and you were saying that you got PTSD and you didn't want no kids, no fucking way you should have went and had 7 more. I ain't never been on no TV show. 14 children? You done push 14
Yeesh.
children out your
That's a
cooter mama?
that's a lot.
That's a lot. When you know if you're on TLC, you know how TLC works. If you on TLC, I'm sure y'all have a whole fucking orientation on how to not be like the Duggars. A whole orientation on how to not be little people, big world. A whole orientation on how not to be Honey Boo Boo and Mama June. A whole orientation on how not to be John and K plus 8. That's 7 shows I done gave y'all of people who life went down the shitter, and TLC obviously picks a side. They always pick a side. If y'all gonna be grown, don't do it when y'all have all these multiple of kids. Between the Duggars, the Goslings, the Doricos, that's at least 50 children within
That's
3 families.
ridiculous.
It may be a stretch.
Damn near.
19 kids and counting. I think they ended up with 21. The Doricos got 14. John and Kate got 8. So now the machines is working against her, and now they're making her look crazy. I don't know if I ever talked about this on Unprecedented Times, but you remember last year this time when the flood came to Texas and washed all them little white girls away from the campus, from
Yeah.
the camp. So remember I told you I read the article, and pretty much they could have saved them, but they told them don't move, don't leave the cabin, don't do nothing. Most of the kids was found. I think it was like 9 or 13. I can't think about the kids that weren't found. But they never found them. Their parents is like, y'all need to shut this down until y'all found our daughters, and y'all need to come up with better safety precautions. They was going back and forth to court, back and forth to court, back and forth to court. They plan to open this summer, by the way. They was taking donations for kids to come to that camp this summer. Mind you, I hate that the little girls died, but it's definitely a whites only, blonde hair, blue eyed type of camp. These people were paying, I think it's like $20,000 for a 6-week camp. Once the little girls got washed away, now it's a battle. We see it this way, y'all see it this way. Because the people that were sending their kids to the camp whose daughters can't be found is the one who let us know that you had to be blonde hair, blue eyed to go to the camp.
Okay.
But y'all knew that before your daughter got washed away. So why
Yeah.
you sit here being messy? What you being messy for?
Because I don't have my daughter anymore. That's the only reason. Because if I have my daughter, I'm quiet. And it's okay. It's okay because my daughter can get in there.
Well, they was going back and forth, and the camp had to file for bankruptcy because, you know what I'm saying, they draining their ass in court. Like, we going to court for everything. The safety, My kids is missing.
Negligence.
Negligence. Y'all lied.
Child endangerment.
And more than anything, they lied. They had the people coming saying, we got all the girls accounted for. We just got to get them back to y'all. And they lied. So y'all did all of this and y'all lied. And the girls can't have their phones. So it was no way. Coat shit. I can't call my mama when something go wrong. I know my little sister is in this cabin right here. Can I get my sister? No, you just gonna come over here. This shit don't need to never open again. Next story was coming out of San Antonio, where it was a reward, a $5,000 reward for the safe return of Gracie. Do you know who Gracie is?
No, I don't.
Gracie was a giraffe.
Nigga, the only animal I'm talking about is Harambe. So long live him.
I think that's what put us on this different timeline. We all let that little baby go in there. Y'all had to kill Harambe. I really think that's what fucked us up. We've been fucked up ever since y'all killed Harambe. Put y'all 10-4 hat on. We've been fucked up ever since then. But yeah, they wanted Gracie got out and Gracie was just roaming around. Now all I'm saying is I've seen a giraffe before in real life. How the fuck y'all can't find Gracie? She's 10 feet tall. How can y'all not?
Where was she last seen?
At the zoo.
Okay.
Who lost Gracie? But it's okay. Gracie came back. The next time we have some free time to watch TV, we gonna watch the documentary on Nicholas Rossi. Nicholas Rossi was probably the most psychotic person I've ever watched a episode of Dateline on. So, right in like 2005 or something, he raped a lady. Moved from his state, moved to Utah, changed his name, said I'm a completely different person. I don't know nothing about nothing. That's not me. Moved to Utah, raped somebody else in 2008. After he raped her, he moved across the pond and started, like, he created this whole fake identity. Changed his name, said he was a different person. And when he got pulled over or something. But when they asked him, is this you? This nigga was like, had to go to court. No, that's not me. I'm not that person. Said he was in a wheelchair. Said he was in the... And there he was playing. He went to court. He would like do interviews, start crying. He would fall out in court. All this. And I'm not finna downplay rape, but my nigga, you could have went and did your time for that rape charge. All this bullshit that you doing, we don't have time to do that. Eventually, across the pond got tired of playing with him. They sent him back over here last year, and he died in custody last week. Like, he dead for real, not play, because he also faked his death before. So once he faked his death, he thought it was over with, but they kept, like, testing him, finding him, doing all this stuff, but, like, that cracker was really out this fucking mind. When they said that he died on Thursday, I said, oh no, this is him playing games again. The hospital chief of staff of fucking Grace Sloan Memorial. That's not the hospital. That's the hospital from Grey's Anatomy. But the chief of staff at that hospital had to come talk to the news because people was like, no, he's not dead. The sheriff and the hospital had to confirm that man was dead because that's how much he lied. We gonna watch it. He was a fool.
The privilege that they are allowed
to just be lying like that.
Man.
Okay. I ain't talked to y'all in a while. We had a versus. Pretty Ricky versus B2K.
Pretty Ricky.
Y'all, Pretty Ricky beat the shit out of B2K. B2K didn't have enough songs. They didn't have enough songs. They don't have enough personality. They beat their ass. And I'm not an Omarion hater, but I'm also not an Omarion fan. Him asking where is Slickum was bullshit.
Yeah, it was.
He shouldn't have did that.
It was.
Especially when you know that he is struggling. You shouldn't ask that, Omarion. Take your loss. Once B2K did bump, it we don't have nowhere to go from.
Turn around, bum.
Pretty Ricky, that first, they didn't even have to do the Red and Black cover album. They could have stayed at Blue Star and blew them out the water. Then Omarion wanted to get up there and perform solo. This is not
Omarion.
Omarion featuring B2K. Nobody came to see you, Otis. So they lost.
Otis.
Omarion is the only person in Black history to ever lose 2 verses.
Ooh. Our boy is 0-2.
But B2K do have a new song out. They tried to perform the new song.
They weren't fucking with it.
First of all, it sounded like they didn't know the song. Let's start there. But it sounds like it, excuse me, with the studio, it could be a good song. But they just didn't know the words. Or let me not say they didn't know the
Their
words.
rollout of the song wasn't good.
They didn't know how to perform a song. Like, because you can know the words, but then trying to add.
It was a bad rollout.
Yeah. Yeah, we are bereaved. The Honorable Mother Khadijah Farrakhan has went on to be with the ancestors. She passed away. Minister Farrakhan's wife of 72 years. May Allah forever be with her.
Yes.
That's correct?
Yes.
Okay.
That is correct. He was a good servant to Allah.
And was. In Flint, a 7-year-old boy was rescued from his house, bedridden and dead, and he weighed 225 pounds at 7 years old. And they locked up his mother, and they deserve to be in jail. They
As
need
they
to go to
should.
jail for murder.
As they should.
He was bedridden, he couldn't talk, and he couldn't walk. So that means y'all was purposely taking him food in that room and feeding him. They need to go under the jail. 225. Do you know how much food you
At
gotta
the age of 7.
At 7.
That's a lot of food.
That's a lot of weight on.
I'm not even 200 pounds. I never touched 200.
Well, I'm a thick girl.
Yeah, you definitely are. Uh-huh.
I'm 200 pounds, but I'm not 225 pounds.
Mm-hmm. Got some curves. Like a
225 pounds
S-class.
at 7?
That's ridiculous.
Put them under the jail.
That's negligence.
And they
That's
had
bad parenting.
Wait, I lied. He was 255 pounds.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they definitely gotta go.
Y'all let a 7-year-old get 300 pounds? When y'all was in school, they said if it was 50, you round that bitch up. So it's
To the nearest 100? Shit.
You round it up to the nearest 100. He was 300 pounds. 7? They need life without parole.
Damn.
Both parents were employed and had health insurance for the family. For all these motherfucking Roll.co and GLP-1s and y'all could have went and got that. This is who needs Ozempic.
But he also needs to be active.
But he can't get out the bed. So first we got to get him the Ozempic to be able to get him out the bed.
Fair enough.
To get him out. They need to go up under the jail, boy. Y'all know this is a McDonald's podcast. For all y'all, for the people who too good, you know what I'm saying? I don't eat McDonald's. I don't drink soda. I don't eat that. I don't eat that. It's made out of Play-Doh. This ain't for y'all, but for the people that's true to the soil. The fried apple pie, they got fried apple pies, y'all. Now let me tell y'all, I've been trying to get these fucking fried apple pies since the day that they rolled them out, and every single day it's always something. But sure as the day is long, when I come back here to talk to y'all next week, I'm gonna get my hands on one of them pies, and I'm gonna let y'all know how they is.
Okay.
It's their first time bringing it back since the 50s. We gonna see.
Remember what you said.
What?
That you're gonna get your hands on one.
Oh, absolutely. The regular apple pies is good.
Yes.
So I can only imagine you stuff. You know what? Tomorrow for lunch, I'm packing up that fucking computer and I'm going to McDonald's. I'm going to be back to tell y'all next week. Our next stories is coming from the great state of New York City. At least in 2020, when they was clapping outside for the nurses, Kumo was saying that he was going to close Rikers. I don't know if it was any time before that, but I know during COVID time, Kumo was saying that he wanted to close Rikers Island.
100%.
When we did the Khalif Browder story, they were saying they were supposed to shut shit down back then.
100%.
Yeah, I don't know how far it goes, but from my recollection, I'm at 2020. Here in 2026, that damn Mondami closed the first part of Rikers Island last week.
Mondami's getting to work. And I want to say, we've been hearing about them closing Rikers since the mid-2010s. I want to say at least the mid-2010s, at least like 2016.
That's crazy. So 20 years.
Yeah.
So on June 29th, New York City Mayor Zohran Mondami permanently closed the North Infirmary Command Facility on Rikers Island and removed its ownership from the Department of Corrections. In 2001, a new law required the mayor to remove parts of Rikers from DOC ownership every 6 months. But Eric Adams refused to do so. He didn't close out nothing. His whole 4 years as the mayor, he ain't shut down shit at Rikers.
Yeah, he was busy in the club smoking hookah,
Absolutely.
getting money.
Mondami's campaign pledged to close Rikers permanently, but he's legally required to house detainees elsewhere first. Like, you just can't close it and put the people on the street. So today's closure, or when they closed it, it was possible because the city began removing medically vulnerable people to off-site therapeutic houses back in April, which if I'm sick and I'm in jail, I don't need to be in jail.
That's true.
I'm not saying
My life is already counting down anyway.
I'm not saying they need to go to where the presidents go, but they also don't need to be at jail
Mhm.
hospital.
That's fair.
Now, they say people on Rikers Island are often subject to violence, denial of medical care, and solitary confinement. 85% of people that sit in that jail is awaiting trial. 60% of them need mental health services. 23 are between the ages of 18 and 25. And at least 120 people detained has died at Rikers Island since 2014 when they initially started this. So you were right. 2 years before that. So 22 years this shit's supposed to be closed down. Say what you want, socialism seems to be working. It seems to be working.
I'd really people make socialism seem like the baddest thing when it's only just belief in the people and belief in giving to the people. Why is that bad?
You're a socialist, of course you would say that. We also had some Supreme Court decisions come out. The Supreme Court upheld birthright citizenship. I don't even understand why this was on the fucking docket. Why are we talking about this?
Sore loser.
In my mind, not even in my mind, in my recollection, I remember y'all wanting this to be, this land is your land, this land was made for you and me. In the classrooms, it used to be the brown, the Indians, bitch, y'all asked us to come here. So the hell do you mean birthright citizenship? Them people did not start walking from Mexico just cause. The Africans that got here, we didn't get here just cause, bitch. Y'all came and got us. Now you want to talk about birthright citizenship? Please, man. Y'all are so unoriginal.
Well, if they do that, damn near everyone has to go. So, okay.
The best thing Tyler Perry ever gave us outside of Medea, the Why Did I Get Married trilogy. Why Did I Get Married? 1, cause who you the one doing the bending? 2, and now on September the 9th, we got 3 coming out to Netflix. So I hope that Tyler Perry does us good. He gives us a good storyline. He give us something that we can get jiggy with. So Tyler Perry, I hope that you did good by my movie.
I'm gonna have some belief in him.
Y'all, sad news, sad news. It was reported that Danny Glover said that he's been diagnosed with Alzheimer's, and he shared his updates on his illness. So prayers go out to Danny Glover. Alzheimer's is when they lose their memory, right?
Yeah.
Hell, man.
Bless up, Danny. Bless up.
Bless up. Y'all, we need to put a, what's it called when somebody missing? A APB. Where is Mitch McConnell?
They trying to do him like Fitz.
They definitely trying to do him like Fitz. We are on day 21. We don't know where Mitch McConnell is. Is he dead? Is he alive? What y'all think about Turtle Boy? Y'all think he's still here?
I think he gone.
I think he did. I think he been dead.
Yeah, I think he gone.
But mind y'all, the day after they wanted to take him to the hospital, his wife went over to communist China and she's still over there. She ain't even came back. So I think Mitch is dead.
You think she a mole?
Yeah.
Yeah. You think he knew he was married to a mole?
Absolutely. So y'all look, congrats are in order. I started a new job last week. So I'm here in training. Kendall come home from work. I said, Kendall, somebody climbed the top of the Empire State Building. He said, on the building or like to the antenna? I said, Kendall, they stood at the antenna. My boy said, no way.
Yeah, no way.
Y'all, Kendall said, girl, you was a bitch ass lie. You don't know what you talk about. I showed him that picture. He said, these niggas crazy.
To the antenna? Come on.
Y'all, they free climbed up there. That's crazy.
And that's the part where I said no way.
That they free climbed up there?
That they free climbed up there.
Yeah. I don't know nothing about climbing or free climbing, but being inside the building seemed nerve-wracking to me. So, to the top, but I mean, they got engaged, and her engagement picture fire.
It is.
That engagement picture is
One for the
fire.
ages.
Yeah. So shout out to them. They definitely went to jail. Now, 2 weeks ago when I talked to y'all, I didn't know shit about FIFA. I didn't know nothing about soccer. I told y'all I was rolling because America was rolling.
Mm-hmm.
And by golly, god damn it, y'all, we gonna win this whole thing. And when we win, and y'all ain't no more football, bitch. It's called soccer, okay? Now, let me tell y'all, the last USA game, when they gave my boy for Lauren Balogun that red card, y'all,
Yeah,
as my witness, I was in this bitch heated. Y'all would have thought I actually knew the rules. Y'all would have thought I actually knew what was happening, y'all. I was heated. I don't know much about the game, but I knew enough to know that this is some bullshit.
Mm-hmm. And the rest was on BS.
And the rest was on BS. And we still messed around and won that game. Cue up the national anthem. Eagles all the way.
Mm-hmm.
Now, today, they rescinded that red card. That has never, ever in the history of FIFA ever happened. They rescinded it. They didn't give him no yellow. They didn't do nothing. They said, we fucked up. You can play tomorrow. Y'all, I might watch the game on live tomorrow. I might go live tomorrow to watch the soccer game.
Fuck that. I'm going back live.
I'ma go live. If y'all want to join me, the Black Docket on TikTok, because I'm telling y'all, I'm gonna be. We ain't had football in so long. Monday Night Football in Seattle. Do it for. Y'all, they had me in here singing the national anthem. Now, I didn't know the version that they were singing, but.
In the nigga version?
The one that they were singing was too fast. Like, I never heard the national anthem in that key. Maybe that's the original song and I just don't know the original song.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is.
Maybe, you know what I'm saying? I thought I was, you know what I'm saying?
You don't?
I thought I knew it. I don't. So let me let y'all know something. I'm Black American every day. You feel me? Like,
Yeah.
I'm Black American every day. I'm a Sulan every day.
Mm-hmm.
I don't rep that red, white, and blue shit. But for the Olympics and now for this fucking FIFA, go America! America! And we gonna win it. And then, oh, I got 2 more stories. I lied. Since basketball season, y'all know that the Boston Celtics is my team.
Please let's talk about it.
You know what I'm saying? I'm the type of person, I'ma roll with you, right, wrong, or indifferent sometimes.
Most times.
In public, I'm gonna be with you. You know what I'm saying? You could be wrong as fuck. In public, hell yeah. Hell yeah. In private, I'm gonna cut your ass. But in public, we gonna roll with it. Before the trade started, I told Kendall, if these motherfuckers trade Jaylen Brown for Giannis, I'm no longer a Celtics fan.
Mm-hmm.
I said, I will find me another team. I will be a free agent because I'm not saying Giannis is a good player. I think Giannis requires too much, and I don't think the Boston Celtics is willing to give him that, and he will make us worse.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't do that. So I'm like, okay, cool. No problem. Woo, go Celtics. We getting ready. I'm sitting here working, training at this new job, y'all, and get the notification that they traded Jaylen Brown to the
Philadelphia 76ers.
That they traded him to the 76ers. Y'all traded him to the people that came back 3-1 on us? Bitch ass niggas?
This is why I do not like Boston. Never been a fan of Boston because of how they treat their black players. I personally believe the Boston organization is racist, specifically towards black players and black players that identify as black. Jalen is black. Visually. There's no question about it. How they've been treating him, they wrong. They wrong.
So I feel a way about this. I feel like as an organization, as a Boston Celtics fan, I feel like they have been playing in Jaylen Brown's face for a very long time. I feel like they have not given Jaylen Brown the respect that he deserves as Jaylen Brown.
I agree.
Jaylen Brown is a fucking genius. when me and Kendall watch the games, like Kendall be jokingly like, "Oh, that nigga's doing calculations in his
I
mind."
don't be joking.
Like Jaylen Brown is a genius. Jaylen Brown has a what you call a lecture at MIT. Do y'all know how fucking smart you gotta be to touch the grass at MIT?
Hmm.
I believe that the Boston Celtics put their weight behind Jason Tatum. Now, I think Jason Tatum is a great player. I think Jason Tatum is very performative. If y'all don't know nothing about me, I want y'all to know people who are fucking performative, I don't like it. Texting Kobe before every game, please. Vanessa, turn that fucking phone
Yeah,
off.
that's ridiculous. That's ridiculous, man. Sammy.
Why you texting that phone? Why you texting the phone? And why you posting telling us that you texting the phone? Jason
it's
Tatum,
performative.
please. Because you're performative. Like,
You celebrate the same way like him. Yeah, it's a nasty look. It's a nasty look.
I like Jason Tatum. I think Jason Tatum is
I think
a
he's
great
cool.
player.
Yeah, I think he's cool.
Jason Tatum don't give nobody no smoke. I think I liken Jason Tatum to being 100% media trained. I know I be talking about artist development. Jason Tatum is the perfect like sports artist development. You don't have no feelings about nothing. You don't care about nothing. You just go to work and you go home. He go to work and
Mhm.
go home. I like that about Jason Tatum. I do not believe that Jason Tatum is going to be able to lead a Boston Celtics team. I think Brad, the man, the president, I think this season he wanted the Boston Celtics to tank. And because Jaylen Brown put that team on his back and they did not, went against what them crackers wanted to do and they had to get Jaylen Brown up out of there. How the fuck you transfer your finals MVP from 2 seasons ago away? Are you dumb? Actually, y'all are dumb, actually.
Yes.
Yes. Y'all are
Yes.
dumb. You are dumb. But I would rather Jaylen Brown go somewhere where he's appreciated. I believe that they gonna appreciate the fuck out of him in Philly. I think Philly is first of all,
The Philly Bears gonna pull up.
when he go to Assalamu Alaikum with them on
Mhm.
Friday
At the
and be
Masjid.
at the Masjid, like I like that for Jaylen Brown. I think that's a good look for him. I hate it for us. And then y'all go get fucking MAGA Mitchell Robinson. Don't fucking piss me off, Boston Celtics. Like,
Which came off some BS from Dolan.
this is some bull. This team.
And Dolan is used to doing BS. That's why the Knicks have been. That's why we ain't win for 53 years. Because Dolan.
Then
We
these,
should have won with Melo.
then these bitch ass niggas talking about Peyton Pritchard is going to take the slack of Jaylen Brown.
Great player, but not Jaylen Brown.
Y'all, I'm a Peyton Pritchard fan. I think that's a cold white boy. He's not Jaylen Brown cold. So I'm still on the fence. I'm a wait to tip off night to see how I feel. I still may leave because I don't have the type of the only organization that can just. But you know what? I can't even say that because the Falcons don't make
I was
bullshit
gonna
ass
say
moves,
that there is one organization that can really do almost anything, and you'll kind of let it slide.
but they don't do wrong to people. They just can't play.
What organization you talking about?
The Falcons.
That's not what I'm talking about.
Who you talking about?
LeBron James organization.
Oh, absolutely. Oh yeah, that's our last
that
story.
LeBron James organization.
Yeah. The organization of LeBron James. Yeah.
There's very little wrong he can do.
Yeah. Now, put y'all tinfoil sports hat on. This is just me. I think ever since Jaylen came out his mouth and said Bronny is trash trying to front for them hoes, it's been downhill for real for him since then.
That's true.
I think Rich Paul and LeBron James pushed that button.
That's true.
And
I hope that's not the case, though.
he did the whole thing with Bronny. He was hating. And I think since that moment, it's been bullshit.
Yeah, he was wrong
was
for
hating.
that.
He was
He's
hating.
wrong for that.
And I'm not saying dictator LeBron got that much rank. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying my boy got that much rank.
Yeah.
It would not be far-fetched that LeBron.
Listen, if you still got the 10 for you hat on, they saying Jordan's the reason why Isaiah Thomas didn't make it to the dream team. So
I believe it.
You know what I'm saying?
Oh, baby, when they be saying LeBron look at people, you do some fucked up shit, and the next season you off the team. Oh, I believe that. I 100% believe that. But I don't know, y'all. I may be a Celtics fan. I may, just depending on what else they do. If they do some else dumbass move, but since we talked about LeBron James, I need him to go ahead and pick a team so I can put my co-loyalty behind him. Cause wherever he at, I'm at. Wherever he go, I go. So, the Lakers fans was online mad because y'all not loyal. Y'all, no, bitch, we not loyal.
Yeah, we only came. Well, yeah, only came for LeBron.
This a motion party. You cannot get in. Where are we going, Bron?
And y'all only want white players as your team. So why would you think I'm gonna be behind that?
The skinhead Lakers, y'all can hold it down. We don't give a fuck no more. Y'all about to go.
The snow time Lakers.
They about to go back to where there were no Laker games on national TV. Them white boys is not finna get no fucking play. I hope Rory get up out of there. Who else over there? AR-15. I mean, they may get Showtime because Luka's there, but
and that's what they're banking on.
yeah, that sound good. But Dallas games went on TV like that. I don't know. Bron, tell us where we going. I personally think we're in a rollout of this my last year 24, year 23. Y'all. It was a good ride, man. It was a good ride. So we gonna follow up. LeBron can't do no wrong, and right now it's fuck the Celtics. You got anything else can do?
I do actually. I have one story.
Oh, what you got?
I got one story for y'all niggas. The Great Buc-ee's is opening 15 more locations.
Really?
Yes.
Do we have well, we getting any more in Georgia? That's really all I'm trying to get to.
We are getting one in Monroe County, Georgia, and that's supposed to be next year.
I don't know what Monroe County is,
but a lot of
find it.
them, Texas, Arkansas, Tennessee,
Okay.
Louisiana,
Okay.
Florida,
Okay.
Georgia, North Carolina, Louisiana,
The South.
Kentucky.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. A few little spots in the South, but mostly the Midwest, Texas area.
Mm-hmm.
And for the people that don't know, Buc-ee's is a large. Well, they're known for having the cleanest bathrooms in the country.
Yes.
Would you attest to that?
Absolutely.
Okay, because I've never been in the women's side. In the men's side, the men's side is cool.
The women's side is clean. Like, it don't even be fucking water on the sinks clean. And yeah.
But it's a mega-sized convenience hub and gas station, usually for road trippers, and it first opened back in 1982 in Texas, offering Texans a simple and clean place to fill up their tanks.
Yes.
Now, they got a cult-like following.
Yes.
And Buc-ee's is official. So if you can get you a way to get there, if you can make your way to Buc-ee's, I suggest you do it, experience it.
Now, I know we just talked about Colts, and I be telling y'all that I don't believe in Colts. The Colts of Buc-ee's, I believe in it. Y'all, they got this turkey sandwich and this barbecue sauce in there that's so good. Y'all. And it's so many gas pumps. It's like 300 some gas pumps, y'all. I could be
It's not that
exaggerating.
much. It's like 120. They said the biggest one that they just made, which is in Arizona, in Goodyear, it has 120.
Y'all, that's a lot of pumps. And then we got to go to the car wash next time we go. That car wash look long. Like, but yeah, y'all, if y'all can get to a Buc-ee's, if y'all ever like, oh my God, what they got in there? Go to Buc-ee's, y'all. And when y'all go to Buc-ee's, y'all let me know. And if y'all ever been to Buc-ee's, tell me what's y'all best what's y'all best Buc-ee's purchase?
For me, it's the assorted nuts. Pause.
For me, I think it's probably the toe bags that we got, the one that Aunt Kate liked.
Oh yeah, that was a good one.
Yeah.
That was a really good toe bag.
Yeah.
Well, that is a good toe bag. Excuse me.
I think that's all I got. You got anything else?
Nah, that's it.
All right. See y'all next week.
All right,
Bye.
Justice doesn't clock out, and neither do we. So if this episode got you fired up, that's the point. Now, don't just sit with it. Talk about it. Argue about it. obsess over it. Hit me up on Instagram at the Black Docket, Facebook at the Black Docket Crime Chronicles, or drop me a line at the Black Docket CC at gmail.com. Got a lead? Got a case? A whisper you think I should drag out into the daylight? Slide in my way. And remember, whether you're binge listening, side eyeing your own jury duty, or lurking in the comments, this docket belongs to you too. Until next week, stay curious, stay bold, and always remember, the truth doesn't whisper, it kicks the damn door in. This is the Black Docket, and we're signing out.
All rise. We are now on the Black Docket.